What's happening, everybody? What's going on? We are back. Yeah, man. Had a nice little week off. Uh, vacation is needed. Sometimes it's good for the soul. You know what I mean? So happy to be back. Happy Saturday. Uh, you know what I mean? It's a great thing to be alive and having a chance to enjoy whatever it is you want to enjoy. Weather is all right on the East Coast. We in the 50s, I guess. It's cloudy, but it is what it is. We make the best of it. Hope you all doing okay. Uh, I know right now it's a little tough because we have the NBA playoffs and no Knick basketball, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We got to make the best of it. Hopefully people are doing stuff to occupy their time. Maybe they're enjoying some of these playoff games. If you're into baseball, you know that season is here. Maybe you're a fan of that. I'm a bet fan, so unfortunately, now that my Knicks ain't playing, I'm kind of like really back into baseball, but I'm enjoying it. Plus, it doesn't hurt that my Met team is pretty damn good right now. It's early still, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. So hopefully everything's going good. Pudge, nice. I see you. What's going on, brother? Yes, sir. Let's see. Let's see. Exactly. Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. Take a sip of this. Yeah, there we go. Now we're good. Um, yeah, it just we got to see what happens now, man. We got to see this. The Knicks got to make a some smart moves, some smart decisions. It's not about change for the sake of change. It's about making sure that we do something that makes sense. Don't bring in somebody different that gives you the same trash. You know what I mean? Don't go out there and think that another veteran big name is the answer if that you know ball basketball player can't ball. What's the point? So I hope things turn out to be what we would think the Knicks organization understands. Because I don't know, uh, when you look at the press conferences and stuff that Leon Rose had, and should I say the interview, um, saying the right things, but he's not really saying anything different than what we already kind of knew that they had mentioned to us. It's still the same plan, whatever that plan is. Um, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. What's going on, Knicks Worldwide? I see you. Dripmore, what's good? Keith Turner, appreciate you. Yeah, man, I gotta tell you, Finesseful J, what's good? I see you. Let me tell you, when you not doing it's different because I think we've been doing this for a little over a year, maybe not quite a year and a half yet, but somewhere around that time. And when you're in this content creator world, you find yourself constantly, at least I know I do. I can't, I don't want to speak for John because it may be different for John, but I find myself constantly around Nick content. I'm always doing something. I'm jumping on different shows, supporting, I'm watching different shows. Uh, and then always, obviously, we have our own show coming up with different things and talking about stuff. It just consumes you, right? And so when you have a week off, it's just weird. This week, let me tell you, it was so hard for me to just chill and relax and not think about the Knicks and listening to all types of Nick content and figuring out what's the next thing that we should be worrying about or thinking about. It's like it was so hard to turn it off, man. It's rough being a real fan of a team that you love. It's rough. So ah, yeah. So why don't we get it cracking and get into everything? Basically, we're going to be talking about kind of where do the Knicks go from here, like what's next on the agenda. There's a lot of talk already throughout the Knick community. People are coming up with different plausible scenarios, different ideas that you heard floating around. The rumor mill is going, but it's still early. We're not even into the off season yet, so just giving like a little conversation about some of the things that are out there already. And as we go forward and get into the off season, we'll get a little bit more in depth about the Knicks and what they're doing. And as we get closer to the draft, we'll highlight some players that really are on the Knicks radar. Because right now everything's speculative. As we get closer to the draft, then we'll know something a little bit more serious about who the Knicks are actually targeting, and then who might realistically fall to them depending on where the draft positioning is. But for that, we got to get kind of to the lottery and see what the selection is first. But we'll see how that all shakes out. But in the meantime, you know what? We hit the intro. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Julian Blum, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. As I said earlier, shout out to Knicks Worldwide, Finesseful J, Julian Blum, what's going on? King Ribby, good to see you, man. Yeah, man. You realize I'm in this thing now, man. I miss this. Being off for a week is just crazy. It's crazy. What's up, JJ? How you doing, man? Angel, good to see you. D Nice, what's good? Tricky Nicky, good to see you, bro. Yeah, man. It's just this whole thing now. Unfortunately, being that we took a week off, it was a week off from everything. So we weren't able to do an NBA report on the Nothing But Knicks network this week. So I didn't really have a chance to get into what has really taken place this playoff week. But I will say this, just to touch on that real quick, guys. Playoff basketball is really, it's interesting because the defense. I don't know. These are the same teams that you face throughout the season, right? And it's funny how the defensive intensity gets cranked up, and the games mean more. So like they're giving their all, and then there's pressure. So guys you think that would step up are sometimes kind of getting in their heads. The shots that they knock down all the time, they can't knock them down. The nerves is tight. There's different things going on. It's interesting. It's wild to see. For example, with the Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks, Milwaukee swept Chicago in the season series in the regular season. And I just think that now Milwaukee has a much better team than Chicago, and they've got all their pieces, and Chicago's still missing people. And, you watch the playoffs and you see that Chicago won a game the other day, right? And I was just like, I'm surprised, because I just don't think, as far as when the teams match up, any team could beat any team on any given night. We know that. But this is the playoffs. And in the playoffs, you need to play your best basketball. There's no error. There's no room for error. And you got to step on the gas and win every game like your life depended on it. That's how you get through. You know what I mean? So I look at that, and it's interesting. And I'm not saying, the way I'm processing it is like, I'm like, Milwaukee is definitely, they're the returning champs, but do they have enough to really do it? I mean, do what they need to do. Because remember, as I said, Chicago is not as good to me as Milwaukee is. And then, what does Milwaukee do last night? They showed us how they really play when they want to. So I'm just saying, I like look at stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. Milwaukee has a chance, but I don't know if they can go all the way. And then I thought Phoenix might be able to step on the gas and go all the way. But of course, talk about an injury at a bad time. Like, hamstring injury for Devin Booker right now. Ooh, that's bad. That is bad. Especially the way Golden State is playing. Now that they got Steph back and that young boy Jordan Poole is the truth, man. Tell y'all, I was saying it early in the year, man. There's no way you're going to get him now. But Jordan Poole will look nice in a Knicks uniform, bro. Just saying. Anyway, yeah, Pudge said the game slows down. It definitely does. It turns into like half court game, and every possession. Damn it! Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, and then you wrote that, Pudge. I'm saying every possession matters, bro. And the other thing is like certain teams that have that championship pedigree and have been there before, they know how to deal with the adversity. Plus, you even though the game slows down, Golden State still figures out a way to play at their own pace. That's the difference. We'll see. We'll see. JJ said, watching these playoff games has me feeling we so far away from being a playoff team. Yo, you ain't lying, man. Because you know what? We could get into the playoffs, right? And then we'd be dealing with some of the, like, realistically, if we had made it into the play-in, we probably would have got knocked out just like Charlotte. It just wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? And even other teams that played better aren't good enough. Like Atlanta's not good enough, but they made it. So kudos to them. And they were able to win last night. But you could just see the difference between Miami. I mean, come on, I'm not saying anything crazy. You could see the difference between Miami and Atlanta, and you know that Miami is going to figure. I mean, unless that's the other thing, injuries are crazy. Injuries will change everything. But you can see there's a way that Miami will be able to pull this series out. But what I will say, this is why I say the playoffs are so crazy. Like numbers and stuff that you see from these guys on every given night. Like they've been doing it all year for whatever reason. Playoff basketball, they can't do it. Tyler Hero had a good game last night. I'm just throwing this out there as an example. Tyler Hero had a good game last night, but the first couple games of the series, he didn't have it going. Bam Adebayo is like a double-double magnet. First couple games of the series, couldn't get you a double-double. Last night, I think he did. Yeah, last night was his best game in the series so far. Like, so it's just that's playoff basketball, and this is part of the stuff that we talk about when we say, "Are the Knicks ready for this stuff?" And we've seen it all season long that the Knicks have showed they got a lot of issues. And so if they got issues in the regular season and they lose to teams like Orlando and that they should be beaten, and they lose multiple times, how do you think that's going to fare when you got to play somebody in the playoffs in a pressurized situation in a 1 game or 2 game whatever elimination thing for the play-in, and then in a 4 game 7 game series or whatever? It's like it don't add up. It don't look right. It don't look right. Pudge Nice says Brunson will bring us that playoff experience for next year. I think this is interesting, and then I'm not trying to slight you, Pudge. I'm just thinking out loud. I think this is very interesting because we talked about Brunson all year, and in the beginning of the year, it was Brunson looks good, Brunson is this. Then we found out what Brunson's number was, and I think it was somewhere in between 18 and 20 million a year is what he wanted. Then we were like, well, Brunson's okay, but he's not that good. And we were thinking like, Brunson's good, but he's a system player. He's a ball manager. He's not sexy. He's not flashy. He's not athletic. He doesn't have the right height. That's all the stuff that just kept coming back and back and back and forth and back and forth, right? And then my whole thing that I would say about Brunson is, do I think he was worth 18 or 20 million at that time? Probably not. But then again, these contracts and the way they're going, maybe that is his value. Being who do you think? And I say this not to seem like I'm making light of either player, but uh, for the most part, Evan Fournier's contract, he's getting about 19 million a year, right? I think 18 or 19 a year. So is Evan Fournier a better player than Jalen Brunson? Or is Jalen Brunson a better player than Evan Fournier? If you feel Jalen Brunson is a better player than Evan Fournier, younger, and gives you more value at his specific position, don't you think he's worth 18 or 19 million? I'm just saying it like that because money wise, the Knicks don't have a ton to play with anyway. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at it like that, because some people feel like we overpaid for Evan, but Evan is a specialist. Does he play defense? No. Does he have other limitations? Yeah. But for what he does it very well. He's one of the last few of that generation of 3-point specialists. The league is changing. I don't know how many of those guys still exist. You know, the JJ Reddicks, the Ray Allen. I would say Ray Allen became that. He was more than that before, but as he got older, he turned into a 3-point specialist. So I'm saying like the JJ Reddicks, the Kyle Corvers. I don't know. You guys know the list of them out there. But so I think Evan is turned into one of those guys now. And for what he does, that's what he does. He can give you that. And I mean, we see it. Like some of the shots he takes is wild, but he hits them. So that's his thing. So you look at that and you say, well, the market is going, salary cap's going up in 23, the new TV contract, all that stuff. And NBA teams know all this, and they're already like, this what plays into these salaries. So maybe the market value for all these plays is higher than we think. So that's something to think about, right? Then the other thing about Jalen Brunson is I have noticed this, and I didn't really think I'm actually shocked. I didn't think Jalen Brunson was that much of an offensive threat. And maybe because when I do watch Dallas games, I just see Luka dominating the ball or Jalen contributing, but then you got Dinwiddie, and they move the ball around, but you don't see Jalen being an offensive threat. But this was months ago. I had looked at when when Luka was out of the game, Jalen's numbers went up significantly. Like, and I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting back, so I'm not all over the stats right now. But yeah, like, so for example, if Jalen was averaging 15 points a game with Luka on the team when they're playing together, when Luka was out, he'd be averaging like 19. So, I mean, 4-point difference is, and we're not talking about like, oh, he increased from this year to last. No, this is like from game to game. When he has to be the man, he scores. So I'm not surprised at all that now that Luka's been out in the playoffs, Jalen is getting busy. Jalen looks like he can score. He's crafty and he's got a great mid-range shot. So I think the only thing that I would think about with Jalen Brunson is he can he be more of a volume facilitator? Because he moves the ball, but Luka dominates the ball so much that Jalen doesn't always have the ball in his hands to facilitate. So if you put him in that position where he has to be more of the facilitator, can he do it? And I think he can, because I've seen him when Dallas played the Knicks. I saw how he kind of carved us up a little bit. But I also like the way his touch is and the way he lays the ball for people. Like that I don't know what's the same, but it's like he passes the ball into an opportunity. So if a guy is running on the side of you, he'll pass the ball ahead of the guy. So the guy meets the ball, and then you can make a move from there. You can either shoot from that spot, or you can kind of take it and do something with it. That's a point guard trait that is not easy to master. When you got it, you got it. So he can do that. Let me put this in the chat. All right, we fully operational. Yeah, man. So Pudge Nice says the Warriors versus the Bucks in the final. Yeah, that most likely is it. I just think the Bucks have a healthy squad and they got too much overall depth as a team, and I think that's going to help them because even Miami, who has been pretty strong most of the year. You see their weaknesses. They have weaknesses too. I mean, every team has a weakness, but like some of these flaws are starting to kind of pop up. CP3 came up clutch. Yeah, well, listen, you know, he is who he is. You know what I mean? And I honestly think that while New Orleans is a good team, you know, they're not a match for Phoenix. I've seen Phoenix beat decent teams in the NBA with no start, like no CP3, no Booker, no DeAndre. Like I seen them win a game like that one time, and I think I don't want to lie. I know all those other guys. Well, I'm trying to remember, was Ayton playing? I don't think Ayton was playing either. It was just crazy. Like I was like, who are they running out here? And they still won that game, no problem. The system is strong. D Nice says, Pool's that guy, man. Staffadan, what Guan? What's happening, brother? What's going on, Akuma? Yeah, Roy is running, defending deadly. Yep. Shoot. Jordan Poole is the third splash. Yes, he is. He's about to be the second splash brother. You know what I mean? But I not yet. But Clay looks like he's starting to get more and more comfortable. He's getting back to his ways. Those last couple games in the regular season helped him a lot because he was lighting it up. It definitely helped him going into the playoffs. That's a tough team, man. It's almost like it's watching the Warriors with Clay, Steph, and Durant. And I'm not saying Poole is Durant, but I'm just talking about his level of scoring, his shooting, that 3-point shooting. That's what makes them tough, man. When you got Steph, Clay, and a third person that can shoot the rock from outside, well, how do you can't consistently defend that? And then when you got to give somebody a rest, you got somebody else who can pick up the slack. That's a key. It's tough. It's tough. What's going on, Sherwin? Good to see you. Oh boy. So Pudge, that's what you think his value has elevated to 25 million now? You talking about Brunson? Because if that's the case, which I definitely think his price did go up. I would hope that he gives the Knicks a reasonable chance at acquiring him, and that may mean that he has to. That's definitely 20 million, guys. That's what I think it is. If he would do that, because listen, he had a number. He may have outplayed that number, but if he had a number that was going to make him happy prior to the playoffs, doesn't mean he can't stick around that number to kind of work with a team if he really wants to come to the Knicks. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's what they want to do, but something to look at. And the other thing is, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Like Brunson's doing his thing right now, but you know what? Who knows, man? The playoffs it's not over. Look at my man Jay Boogie in the building. What's going on, Jay Boogs?
What's up, Ron? Happy Saturday to you, man. How you doing, my brother? I just, clicked over and I seen you rocking. I just wanted to come up here, and smile and, rock with you for a few minutes, man. Let you know,
Appreciate that.
Like Nas say, life is good, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Blessings and
Appreciate
blessings.
that. Thank you, brother. I'm happy to see you, man. It's a week off, man. Felt like I've been gone forever though. 1 week is a lot.
Well, when you got vacation buddy like that, you can do that, man. So you can take them. Every 4 months I'm gonna take a week off, go to Thailand or something, man.
Right. Yeah. How you doing, bro? How was your birthday?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man, to make it through 53 and just see 54, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm so happy right now within, myself and along with my family, man. We just, in a good spirited place like right now, you know what I'm saying? So I have no complaints, no worry. And I hope everybody else, you know what I'm saying, is happy within themselves. And if there's anything that you're going through in life, just know it's not about what you go through, it's about what you come through. you can always get to the other side to receive your happiness.
Facts, facts. I'm in full agreement of that. Thank you for always giving us positive statements, Jay Boogie. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're able to see another year. We're blessed to have you, brother. Man, we gotta keep supporting and keep bigging up our people that are positive, man. Because you know what? There's too much negativity in this world these days, man. I'm seeing I don't even watch the news anymore for that reason. There's so much craziness going on. So whenever I hear positive stuff, I'm a champion that.
Yeah, it's a wave we all definitely got to ride, man. It's a positive wave, man. Positive wave, man. Got to ride that, man.
Say what's up to my man Stafford Don. What's going on, brother?
The true
what's good? Happy belated Earth Strong to my God, Jay Boogie, blessed 53rd. You know what I mean? More life, more strength, more wealth, more health. You understand what I'm saying? And just, more life, which is more important. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, my man, and your family.
Appreciate it.
Blessings.
Ask you a question, Don, while I got you. Because there's a little rumor going on. And if the rumor is true, I respect that to the fullest. They said you was gonna have that Smitty role in New Jack City. But I heard you told the people, yo, you're not gonna kill me, boy, so me gonna turn down, the script.
No, I don't know where you heard that from, but nah, that ain't true. but I wouldn't mind dabbling a little acting though. That's what's up. I wouldn't mind.
Let me tell you something. You put me in New Jack City, a reboot for the right price. I'll play Pookie. I don't care.
Right.
What's good, Ron?
I'm gonna jump off and jump in this party city, man. Get some balloons and stuff for my people. I just wanted to come and rock with you for a minute, you my brother.
Nah, man, appreciate you, brother.
I've been missing you too, man. So you know what I'm saying. You know how we
Facts.
do.
Good to see you, brother.
Rude boy, enough respects, man. God bless us.
You already know, man. Blessings to you, man. Blessings to you. Be safe on the road, man.
No doubt, man. Y'all be easy, man.
Enjoy yourself, J Book.
So what's good, Ron?
I can't complain, bro. I'm just trying to I swear, man. I feel like it's like losing your bearings for a minute, man. I'm just like I can't believe just being off for a week. Like I feel like where do I start? Where am I at right now? Damn, it's crazy.
Well, I think I ain't been on the list for about 2-3 weeks now, so I missed you too.
Yeah, there you go. See what I'm saying, Stafford? It's all coming back, man.
Yeah. The last time I think we rocked was on Vibes and stuff.
Right. Yeah, man. So I'm just I'm looking through the chat. And right now, we obviously was talking about Brunson and different things going on with the playoff
Jazz.
But I'm just saying, Brunson's value and his price has gone up. We know that, but I also don't want to Sherwin M made an interesting point. I think that there may be some truth to it, but I think he's a little better than that. I think he has a little bit more skill at the point guard because he said that he feels that Brunson is a shooting guard playing the point guard. There may be some truth to that because I'm telling you, the fact that when the star player is out, Brunson can take over and drop buckets the way he does. He definitely is. He can score. He's a shooter. And that mid range is legit. It ain't no joke. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but that mid range is legit. But he still is.
Take it to the basket.
Yeah, and he's still a much better at this point in his career, much better with understanding how to get players the ball. And I think we haven't seen enough of it because of the fact that Luka's there. If Brunson was the guy and had to be able to move the ball around more, you'd see more of that. But Luka being there is tough. He dominates.
Yeah. I think he had one of the highest usage rate in the league this year. So
yeah, he did. He did.
When you're getting paid, I think it's over $200 million. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It comes with big expectations and big responsibilities. So, you know, it is what it is. But Bronson, he's growing on me. I'm not gonna sit here and front. He's growing on me. His toughness, his tenacity for a small guard. And that's just my only issue with him. Is just his damn, I'm trying to just his height. Let me say that. His
Right.
height is just an issue for me, right? And but at the same time, he still brings that. I think I heard Uncle Freezy said that Kyle Lowry pitbull mentality, that tenacity, that you know what I mean. So
That's
and
right.
then he could survey the floor, he could play make, he could create for himself. As you say, he's not a good 3-point shooter, but I wouldn't mind him on the team, but it's the only issue otherwise too is the price. What will he demand? And 25 is a lot, bro.
25 is a hell of a lot. You
That's
ain't
a lot,
lying.
bro. You feel me? I mean, it mightn't look that bad probably in a couple of years, but that's gonna come with a lot of expectations, and you know how this fan base could be, right? So
Yep. Yeah, I don't know, bro. That's tough. Like I said, he would have to give, and it's crazy because this is so funny. This is how the world works, and that's why don't take things for granted in your life. Do what you got to do. If you got a goal, try to accomplish. I know this is separate from everything. I'm just telling people this in general. You got a goal you're trying to meet, go for it. If you got a plan that you had and an opportunity presents itself, take it because you never know what can happen. We were talking about Brunson. Oh, his dude want 18 million. I don't think he's worth 18 million. What? Nah, man. Like maybe we can get him for 15, 14. Nobody want to pay him nothing. Now his numbers popping up to 25. And we're like, damn. You see what I'm saying? This is why.
I hear you. But Keyshawn, look at, I think Marcus Smart is more like he's way 2 inches smaller than Bronson. I think Bronson is 6'1", and you said Marcus is 6'3". I'll take that. But and then after he's more kind of brolic to me, like in his shoulders, you know what I mean? So I mean, you can't make that argument, yo. I think that Bronson and Marcus Smart is 2 different players, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's still a role. The other thing is I'm not saying Brunson is these guys either in their primes.
Right.
Like Brunson is very similar as far as height and size and everything to a guy like a Kyle Lowry or even Chris Paul is 6 feet.
Right.
Like,
Right.
But I mean, Chris Paul is Chris Paul. We know he's a very special player. I'm just saying it's different. I get it. But that doesn't mean like a guy like that height can't contribute and can't be a really good player on your team. Sometimes things work out that way, and maybe the universe is telling us that we're looking in all the wrong pots, and
Perfect
we should open up that
example.
Brunson pot. I don't know.
Perfect example. Trae Young. He's terrible on defense, but look at that clutch shot last night to give them the last. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, man. It's kind of rubbing off on me. Bronson, he's kind of rubbing off on me. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, it's just for the right price. And before I came on here, I article just came across on Bleacher Report, saying that the Utah Jazz are upset that was William Wesley,
right,
on the side, right, and they're upset because because Donovan Mitchell has been linked to the Knicks in the past.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's very interesting right there to hear that they're upset.
Well,
I mean,
that's what World Wide West does. That's his thing. He ain't doing nothing he don't normally do. This is what he does. He pops up everywhere, and everybody knows who he is. So they're like, "What is he doing here?" That's how he is.
Well, you know what? I'd rather to him be there and to be a threat. So he better do something. Cause we ain't paying him all that money for nothing. And then you hearing people saying that how him and Leon Rose is just milking the Knicks. So they better do something.
Yeah. You know what? Let me do this. I should have did it earlier. I gotta start getting back to my old stuff, man. Doing this stuff to make it easier for people who tune into the show late, so that they can know what we be hollering about. So right now we was talking about Jalen Brunson and kind of what's been going on with him, how he's looked, and definitely how his price has increased, and he's definitely on the radar, not just for the Knicks, for a lot of teams. I would think now that have some money that are looking to move forward. Now, the only thing that really does help the Knicks, let me get Soulfinger in here while I'm talking. What up, Soulfinger?
What's going on, fellas?
What's happening, brother?
Not much. Can you hear me? Because I'm sitting out. I don't have my headset. I'm sitting around waiting on my daughter's appointment. So
that's right. It's Saturday.
Yeah. Well, no, she got PT, and then we got a game.
Oh, okay. All right. Nah, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for jumping on while you waiting.
My boy is always a dad, man. 24/7. Yeah, man.
Well, what I was saying is, with regards to Brunson, he's definitely on. He's going to be on a lot of teams' radars who have the money, and then there's certain teams that have the money that it doesn't make sense to go get a Jalen Brunson right now when you've got a Cade Cunningham and other point guards on your team, and then you're not ready to win anything now. So why spend that money? OKC is not going to go out there and spend money on Jalen Brunson. So the Knicks still have that in their favor, and the fact that there's obviously the connection with his father being there and all that stuff, and then Leon Rose being his godfather and all that stuff. Whatever, it is what it is. Because listen, that's all our front office is good for, is connections. They haven't shown us necessarily all the basketball smarts yet, so all we can depend on from them is the connections. But you were bringing it up, Staffa, and even I was laughing because that was a segue when you was talking about Trae Young last night and his defense and how he's not good on defense, but he makes clutch shots. And I think that brings us to this gentleman who you couldn't stop people from saying, "Oh, bring Donovan here. Donovan's got to be the guy. We need him." And now that these playoffs have started, people are starting to get sour on Donovan. It don't take long. And this is another thing that you got. It dignifies how the Knicks fan base is. We don't even have him in our mix. He's not on the team, and they're already saying, "Man, maybe he's not what we thought he was." So I think it's funny, man. It's crazy, but that's what comes with New York.
I had I was just reading an article while I was waiting before I realized, and I had a brain fart, I had a senior moment, realized you were on. Excuse me. I was reading an article and talking about other point guards, like, if you can't go up, we can't go after Brunson. Is there a plan B? And another name that's going to it'll start picking up steam, I'm pretty sure, because he's in the playoffs, is Tyus Thompson with the Grizzlies.
Oh no, not.
Tyus Jones. You mean
Tyus Jones? Thank you.
Yeah,
Tyus Jones. Good name. Yeah, Tyus Jones. So his name, I see his name in articles are starting to come up now as a pivot If you can't get Brunson, can you go that way?
Right.
He's the next small guard too.
No, I think he's big. He's got a little height on him. I think. Remember, I didn't see it because I want to make sure I saw some of the stats. He got a little more height on him than we think.
Mm.
No,
The thing is he's a shooter.
He's 6 feet. He's 6 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
That me I tell you, man, the man small, yo.
Hold on, man.
But you know,
man.
I mean, me myself personally, I don't want us to go after another small guard. We need We need a guard with some height. I don't want to see any Lilliputians running around because that can really bite you in the backside. However, I mean, I'm not hung up on the size thing per se. I'm just tired of seeing us going after small guard after small guard after small guard if we don't mix it up. I'd rather have a different dynamic on the court. You know what I'm saying? But size don't really. I mean, really, size don't matter in a lot of aspects. It's about the size of the fight and the dog. Look at Chris Paul.
Right.
I always use him.
Yeah.
So you can't say it. You want to talk about small guards that handle the business throughout NBA history. Isaiah Thomas, Allen Iverson. I know talking about Hall of Famers and whatever else, but somebody said the same thing about them. Oh, they're too small, but they were out there busting somebody's head to the white meat.
Yeah. Your boy Meek last night. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Look, as long as they could bring something to the team, you understand what I'm saying, and it could be a free flowing offense, I'm with it. As long as it's a good fit.
No, definitely.
So
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, listen, look at all the if you look at a lot of the guys that Knicks could target, a lot of these guys are small. It is what it is. This is this level of point guard right now. The other guys ain't available.
No, that is so very true.
Yeah, unless we giving up some first and some probably a player.
Right.
I mean, you definitely right, because to get something like that, you're gonna have to give up the gluteus maximus to get.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I think what's his name still been floating around too, the young man from Sacramento.
Which one?
About Fox?
Fox.
Oh, De'Aaron, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing
about floating around too.
You see how things work, guys. You see, they decided to go with Fox and get rid of Halliburton, which I'm not saying that's a bad move. Some fans, have a feeling about it, but it is what it is. Halliburton could turn out to be something special. Right now, he's still a little iffy. He had some good games throughout the season, and then he had some duds. But he's still growing. He's a young player. There's still a lot of time for him to develop into that A1 point guard. But they decided to keep Fox, and then Fox gets hurt, and then you wind up seeing everything being run through the other Mitchell.
Right.
So, and he didn't look bad. Some games he got busy. So, that they look at that like, oh man, we decided to get rid of Halliburton. We still got Fox, but Fox is making almost $40 million or whatever. It might be time to move on from Fox too. We could take this whole thing a different direction.
Yeah.
Well, you got to see how that organization, which is, I mean, the national media try to paint us a certain way, but we're not as bad as the Kings, man. Let's call it like it is. Man. And the moves they keep, for every half step they take about 6 backwards. So, you'll see which way they're going to go now. Now they're back in the coaching hunt. Then you'll see something else with the front office. Then they're going to move another player and get back a couple of chewed up Skittles and old rotten cheese puff. So, it's just what they do. They get a lot of talent but don't do anything with it. So we'll see how that plans out. As far as our situation, I don't want the front office, and Ron, I agree with you 10,000,000%, because it's all word that we have connections and we can do this. It's know, they selling wolf tickets on the connection who you can bring in. Show me.
Right.
Don't say what you're gonna do. Show me. Actions speak louder than words. I'm that kind of person. You know, if you show me, you don't tell me you 10 toes down with me. Show me. You know, and the situation we're in, I don't want this front office to get desperate. And I've been saying it for the last few days. The time I haven't been able to come on anybody's show, I'm riding this whole thing with the desperation thing because I could see. I mean, that Leon Rose interview with Mike Breen, you saw it was so scripted, and he was just throwing meatballs with extra sauce to him that he had the answers, and some of the answers he really didn't even answer. You know, he was doing the circle talk, back talking, and all this.
Right.
So don't get desperate. Pull the trigger. Give up something to get, and then it doesn't work out. You can get a great player, and if you don't follow up by getting the right pieces around that great player, then it was a failure. Period.
Right.
And we have a history of that. We don't want to go down that road, but don't be desperate and go after a name.
I agree with you, man.
Salute.
And be smart.
Yeah. You know what? And first off, let me just salute my man Rob, the knowledgeable Nick in the building. What's going on, brother?
Salute. What's up, Ron?
Good to
What's
see
up,
you, bro.
staff? What's up, Soul?
What's good, Ron?
Rob,
my bad.
Ron
Hey,
is
Stafford,
the moderator.
Stafford, you got to be the youngest out of the three of us, man. You can't be having senior moments that fast.
Yeah, man. It's all
Hey,
good.
listen, man, look in here. You know what? I'm gonna talk to you off the air.
It's all right, man. I just want to say what's up to Keyshawn in the chat. He had said that I'm saying height doesn't matter because Smart not a big guard and he won Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Like we want things as fans. We obviously want the best possible talent. We want specimens as players. We want athletes. We want everything we can get out of it. If we can, we want transitional play. We want all of it. But sometimes it don't happen. Sometimes you get a 6-foot guard, and hopefully that 6-foot guard can ball out for you. If you pick the right person, of course. But you know, there's nothing wrong with that if you get the right guy.
Hey, yo,
He's always a defensive player, though. That's why I don't understand this thing. You know what I mean?
No. But it's
he
really hard to be
deserves
a Defensive Player of the Year at 6 feet or 6'3". That's tough.
That's what I'm saying. And Jalen Brunson is nowhere he's a good defender, but it's no way he's going to be a defensive player of the year.
No, he's not a bad defender.
No, that's not the comparison.
Bad defender either. He's not a bad defender.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not looking
That's
at
not the
Kimba when you
comparison.
look at him. You're not looking at Kimba. When you look at Bronson, you're not looking at Kimba. He's a way better defender. You know, a willing defender. And like you said, I think that the Knicks still is in the driver's seat, and I don't think that he's going to hit 25 million for one reason. It's 28 teams that got starting point guards already, and you can't supply and demand is going to dictate what you get. So when he was asking for 20, it was really 15. Now he may have went up to about 18 right now because, like I'm saying, he's on display right now. And I don't think that whatever he can show, somebody's going to get rid of their point guard to replace him with that. I don't think that's going to happen. It's just not smart business. So he's coming out in a time that no matter what he does, at the end of the day, is not going to be with the money that he wants. It's impossible. It's only 2 teams out there that need point guards. And that's pretty much us in Washington. And Washington really is capped out, and they already made a trade with players. So really, you can say the New York Knicks is driving this ship for him. So
don't bid against yourself. Don't bid against yourself.
That's right. And you know, so no matter what type of playoff he has, he's still in that position. Can't change that. It's just a situation finally that the Knicks can take advantage of something. And it may work to their favor if they want him. I just like the simple fact that when he's on the court,
It's all business. He doesn't smile. He plays.
Right.
And he's showing you the heart of a lion that what New York needs and what New York appreciates. New York fans appreciate that hard-nosed player like that. And that's what the city is built on, a player like him with that mentality. Now, is there limitations to his game? Yeah, there's limitations to everybody's game. Everybody's got a limitation on it. But he's not going to be the one that shoots you out of a game. He's not going to do that. You know, he's going to play his part every night. Whatever his part may be for that night, he's going to play that part. So if that's something that we're looking for and you can move certain, I don't think it's going to cost you too much to get it. So let him finish auditioning. And at the end of the day, you know, if you want to make a play for him, you make a play for him. If not, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Actually, Rob, you made a good point. And let me just say this real quick. Subliminal, shout out to you. Appreciate you as always. You mentioned the whole thing about when you think about who actually needs a point guard and who will be his biggest suitors. Because I said, like, obviously he's opened up a lot of eyes in the league. So people look at him like, yeah, but there's not a lot of teams that can actually one afford him, one have a need for him, or who can go out and really get him. But you brought up the Washington Wizards, right? And the Knicks. But the funny thing is, who's on Dallas right now that just came from the Wizards?
Porzingis. I mean, Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie. So if you Jalen Brunson and you like, wow, Washington could be a team in play for me. Hey, Dinwiddie, how'd you like everything over there? How'd it work out for you? And Dinwiddie ain't gonna tell him anything good. So you know what I mean? That's another thing in the favor of the Knicks.
Dinwiddie was the cancer. That's why they moved him.
But Dinwiddie, Dinwiddie's gonna say, I wasn't the cancer. They have some issues over there. They don't run their ship right. Because Dinwiddie did come from a winning situation with Brooklyn. So it's not like he can't be a cancer everywhere. He was good. He was rocking in Brooklyn. He was like, oh, they love Dinwiddie out there. So I'm just saying.
I'm sure that discussion was had.
What it do, fellas?
What it do?
What's going down, brother?
Yeah, man. So we kind of just talking about these guards that are in play for the Knicks. We touched on Jalen Brunson, for a bit, and we were just talking about Donovan Mitchell and kind of how he's some of the fan base is starting to get sour on him because of I would say one thing about Donovan Mitchell on his offensive side, sometimes he could be a little slow with it. Of course, everybody doesn't always have it. Like one thing about him, he's a little streaky. He could be cold for the first half and come out blazing in the second half. That's how he plays. But one thing you could look at him and say, even when he's having a bad game, you look at the box score at the end of the game, he got around 24, 25 points. Like that's what he does. But his defense is looking real suspect out there, folks. I'm not saying he Kimba suspect, but he definitely in the lineup. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to go through 5 guys to point out who's the criminal. So he's definitely in there. So yeah, man. What do you think about what's going on with Donovan Mitchell, Subliminal? And do you still think that he's a player that you would want on the Knicks?
I think there's I thought there was an echo when I first hopped in, so I was going to jump off and jump back in. But since
I think you good. I think you're good.
Okay. All right. Cool. So since y'all talking about Donovan Mitchell now, we all know he's an all-star, got the game. I would take him. He would slide right in though. But for that money and what we have to get rid of, who do we got to get rid of to get him? I think it's just too much. To break the bank for that time right now. We just don't have enough assets. We'd be emptying the cupboards and then have nothing but top ramen left.
Right. Now you make a good point, and I apologize to you. I think I do hear the echo a little bit now. Yeah, if you want to jump off and come back in, that's fine. But yeah, I agree with you though on that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about Donovan. Like he definitely is the type that you got to be committed. Like one, he's going to be your franchise player. So you got to be willing to go all in. If this is what you want to do, you got to deal with it. You're gonna bring him here. You already know that defensively, he's not necessarily the answer. And it's wild because now I hear the echo still, and Subliminal's not here, so it might be coming from somebody else's setup.
I think it was probably
I'm
Rob.
Rob, do you hear it?
I was muted.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I was muted as well.
Yeah, now I don't hear it. That's weird. I don't know.
Crazy.
Hopefully, it's good.
But Ron, you wouldn't give up two firsts, a second round, and 2 players. Donovan.
I mean, I would. I don't know if it'll be enough. Which type of players?
Because that's what I seen. That's what I seen in the article. Like just before I came on with you, and they was talking about him going to the Cavaliers, Donovan, right? Mm-hmm. And they was talking about 2 firsts, a second, and 2 players, and I'm like, that's it to go to Cleveland.
But Staffa, we don't know who those players were, and maybe in this situation with Utah.
Oh my God. Who
could have been because they could have done it. They could do a sign and trade with Sexton.
Oh yes, Sexton was a sign and trade. That was him and another player. But that's exactly what it was.
I mean, remember, Sexton is, if you want to say he's Donovan Mitchell light, because that's his game is he's a scorer who gets a lot of volume. Like Sexton plays that way. So that's not somebody that I would think is a bad person for Utah to acquire. And I'm not downplaying the players that the Knicks have that they can give up, but Sexton is better than a lot of guys that we got on our team. So, 2 firsts, a second, Sexton, and some other player might look a lot more attractive to Utah than us giving them, who we would give up. And if we giving up Julius, that's one thing which you don't know, because it looks like no matter what Julius does, the Nick Brass is in love with him. So if Julius was going and you giving up,
but it might be for the right price though. That's what I'm saying.
I don't doubt it, but you never know. I'm just saying, like, our players, we trying to hold on to guys like RJ, and I think they would want. Remember, also let's look at their weaknesses, right? You're going to get rid of your best scorer, so unless they're going to finish high in the draft, which they're not, and then the picks that they would get would be from a team that is not the worst team. Like the Knicks are bad, but you would assume as management of another team that's trading with them that they're going to make some different changes positionally, and they'll be a little better next year. So you don't know if they'll even be a lottery team next year. So that pick, you got to look at the value of those picks. So you're going to think, damn, we're giving up Donovan Mitchell. We need some scoring back. So you want to make sure you get a guy who can score. So maybe Julius would be one. But the other thing is, they got defensive issues, and Donovan wasn't the greatest defender. And then if you bring Julius over there, he's not the greatest defender.
Or throwing either Cam or Grimes.
I would think you'd have to throw in Grimes, but maybe Cam might help. I think you're going to have to throw in Grimes. So I don't know. Let me yeah, let me just bring Keyshawn. You can continue, Subliminal. I mean, I'm sorry, Soulfinger.
No, I'm just saying, with that situation when you brought it up, you're definitely Grimes would be a more compelling piece to take. I mean, you could put Cam in there, but for that defense, so you're looking at what's going to move the needle for them. So they're giving up their top scorer. For us, if we hold it on to Randall and we're adding in Donovan, and his defense is looking suspect like it's looking, we're almost in the same situation we were last season with defensive liabilities on the floor. Is just that the offset is Donovan can score. It's just a matter of time. You know, it's just when that switch goes on and he explodes and goes Super Saiyan on everybody in a game. So it'd be one of those things. So you have to kind of we as fans would have to be able to roll with what we got and just stand back and wait, be patient for him to do his thing by him coming out and looking for him to lock somebody down, because you know that's not what he does. Right. He's a lethal assassin when it comes to scoring, and you know it's going to happen. You're not going to hold him down. He could go over in the first quarter, and then the next 3 quarters go unconscious, a whole nother dimension of scoring, and you can win the game that way, or keep you or going against some of the elite teams, give you a puncher's chance. So it's just the way we have to look. You have to look at what you're giving up, who you're giving up, because we got all those. How many picks we got again total?
You mean over like what? Over a span period or next year's draft?
Yeah, let's say it was like over the next.
I think it's like 8 first. I think it's like 8 first rounds. No, and like about 14 second rounds.
It's 4? Less than that.
It's 4 first rounds and 9 second rounds.
9, something like that.
Like 13 picks.
And we're not drafting all those players. We're not using all those picks. So they're going to have to get moved. So for those who are like, we can't give up our draft picks. No, it's not like it was in the past when you just giving away draft picks and you devalued them. You're not going to use all those picks. So you got to use them to get something. So you got to give to get.
Yeah, but right now is not the time though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Last year, maybe if we were making that playoff push, we could have brought some other players in though. But right now, we need to roll with the youngins. Draft these players, whether we're picking at 11 or not. There's some good players that could maybe be backup. Run the second unit with that team next year. As far as Donovan Mitchell, that's more of a pipe dream right now. As Knicks fans, we kind of overvalue our players, and like I said, we'll just be emptying out the cupboards. And I feel like the NBA could get a different package, a better package to Utah and what they want for Donovan. Brunson would be, someone who also fits the timeline. I know you guys brought that up earlier. It's something that we brought up on Knicks After Party a couple months ago during the trade deadline. A young vet, just a dog, somebody that Knicks fans like, just that mentality of being poised on the court, getting his own bucket, and things like that. I don't think that we'll be fighting too many NBA teams to pick him up. And what do we want him to grow as well, be more of a leader. You get rid of Rose, get rid of those salary picks. And do I still have an echo?
It's I don't know if it's you, so we'll just get through it. You know what I mean? But continue. It's all right, man. I value if the quality is not that great, I value your opinion more than the quality. So continue, bro. I don't even know if it's coming from you. So
yeah, I think so. If you could with it, I'll just make my points and keep it pushing. But I'm one of those Knicks fans that are patient right now. We're figuring out that IQ could take the next step. RJ could take the next step, and we'll just develop our young guys and move forward. We just have too many picks, like Stephen brought up and Sofinger brought up, and just be patient. We're not making we're not being any contenders right now. We can make a play-in push maybe next year. And I'm just okay with the route that the Knicks are taking. All these contracts will be done by next year, and we'll be able to bring in new young vets. No more older vets. We tried that with the last couple of years, and it just doesn't work. And now we're finally on the right timeline, and that's kind of the route I'm going with. If you guys, are on the same page, or are you guys different on that point?
Well, let me say that I am okay with this Knicks team adding a piece like Brunson and spending some money for that, rather than selling the farm and trading all these young players. Because I think the Knicks are going to be better than they were this year if they make no changes. I just think they've seen some of our young guys can play, and they're going to be a year better. I think they'll be better all around. They still need to make some moves and kind of tinker with this, but I just think they're going to be a better team. So I wouldn't want to get rid of these players. But I think that Knicks teams in the past have done some wild stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks really would go crazy and try to figure out a way to keep RJ and Randall and trade whatever they can to bring in Donovan and have that be their big three, if you will. I'm not saying it's right. I just wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that or tried to do something like
RJ is not ready for that yet. RJ is not ready to even put his name in that situation like that. And you know what we have to stop doing? We've been Knicks fans for a long time, right? But every regime that comes in, we treat them like they're the last regime that left. We don't give them anything. We are, no matter what, we gonna always treat. We're not gonna just say, okay, it's 2 years with these guys. We're gonna always go back 10 years, 5 years, 20 years on things that happen, even though the information that you're looking at is things that none of the old regimes done. But we're not giving this regime credit for standing pat. We want to blame them because we're battered and we mentally unstable as fans. So we want to blame the new regime and not say and not give them a chance to prove to us that we're not doing that. We always result back to like a battered victim. That okay, no, this is what they do. And then when we go past the present regime when giving this information to the public. So let's chill from that. Let's say, okay, this is what they're doing. Even if we don't like what they're doing, or you might have a problem with it, it's different from what used to happen. So RJ,
Rob,
wait, let me finish this right quick. I say, as far as RJ is concerned, before you put him or you even try to attempt something like that with RJ involved, before you even mention the word quote unquote big three, efficiency has to get way better. So right now, RJ is just a young player like Quickly. To me, it's not his team. He hasn't proven that it is his team. He's a player on this team that was our third pick. But you have to have certain things on your and certain things on your list before you can say this is your team. We know it's not Julius, but we can't automatically just give it to RJ because it's not Julius. That part has to be earned. And so far, he hasn't earned it. So we don't have a big three. You'll still just have two good players going with Donovan. That's suspect right now. So go ahead.
But we don't need it to be RJ's team. You know what I'm saying? We can have more of a collective unit, and everybody.
I agree.
Everybody played team ball. You saw how the end of the season went. That ball was flowing, and everybody whoever had the open shot took the open shot. That's more of the style of play we need to run with.
Yeah, but see, that style of play is not going to be 82 games. It looks nice, but and when pressure busts pipes, somebody's going to have to put that ball in their hands and do something. It looks nice. Now you can run the offense like that. But this NBA is breeded with stars and clutch players, and you have to have one of them to really take that next level. Now, that ball movement is good. I agree with that 100%. But at the end of the day, that ball going to go to somebody's hands, and we're going to have to live with it.
Yeah, but we got two young I'm not going to say stars, but young core players with RJ and IQ who have ice in their veins that are willing to take that challenge. They're not going to crack under pressure. When RJ gets double teamed, he's going to make the right pass. And IQ has that first fast enough step to, get passed by players and hit that little floater.
I agree, but we're going to have to live with the hits and the misses. And that's when the ball is going to stop with them.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, well, you know what? let me see what Keyshawn feels, because I know he was trying to say something. What's going on, Keyshawn?
What's going on, guys? Salute.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. I like what Subliminal was saying. He wants to stay patient. I agree with that.
Me too.
And I'm definitely not against getting Brunson because he fits the timeline. He's a good fit. He can play off the ball. Like that's gonna lend itself to the team. And I don't really think there's any other options really. Like people want Sexton, but that would not fit at all, I think.
And Brunson is a high IQ player. You know, he could get his own bucket. He's very, if you listen to the way he speaks, he's very educated in the way he speaks. And I like that about him, where, you know, he's another guy that's not going to crack under pressure, a guy who's in the second round that got drafted, you know, a smaller point guard, someone who has a chip on their shoulder. And I just feel that he'll just slide right in seamlessly and, you know, be able to maybe take that younger vet role and, you know, more of a team player. So I'm good on Brunson. I mean, I'm good as far as, you know, I'm taking him.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm not opposed to whatever the Knicks do, whether that means they want to just add to some of the talent they got and keep the core of it, most of it intact, but they got to you know, chop off some of the fat, whether that be vets or whatever. And I'm not opposed to them saying, well, we're not going to blow it up, but we're going to trade some of these guys to bring in some better talent. I just want the Knicks to be comprised of smart basketball players. Maybe you can't have one at every position with high IQs, but put a little bit more of that on this team so we can play better basketball overall, regardless. And I say this because of, you know, say what you will about Tibbs. I'm not going to fault him for everything and all this stuff, but irregardless of Tibbs, my whole point is if we got smart basketball players out there, if Tibbs ain't doing something that I think makes sense, or he's not, you know, he's stubborn in his ways, smart basketball players can overcome certain things that the coach is not doing. You know what I mean? They make up for it because they know how to play the game. Like, it don't matter what the coach does in certain situations. And I just want the Knicks to have players on there that know basketball and know, hey, we don't want to do this in the fourth quarter when we have the lead and we're up 9 and you know, we've had 2 turnovers in a row and now we're up 3. What are we going to do right now? I don't need to hear from the coach. I need that player on the court to say, okay, we ain't going to do this. I know that. We're going to try something else. I need those guys.
We can have all the talent in the world, like in Minnesota. Like, they have talented pieces, and they do not play smart at all.
Yeah.
And like, you see the difference between them and Memphis. Memphis has young players too, but they know the right way to play basketball.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. What were we going to say, Staffer?
So to the patient guys like Subliminal and Rob and Keyshawn. So what do you tell the other half of the Knicks fans that don't want to be patient, that's been waitingly patient for a long time, probably before even I was born, right? What do you tell them? They want to see a championship now.
Look,
they want to see something now. What do you tell them now?
This is what I tell them. Hey, people in hell want ice water.
Before you continue, Rob, let me just see something. Can everybody who's not speaking just mute their mic? I want to see if that sound goes away.
I was muted when I wasn't speaking though. Just give you.
I hear you. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, I would tell them people in hell want ice water. This is the process. We have to stick with it. We either gonna be a fan or go to another team. What can we do? It's nothing that we can do as fans to push the process. We either got to accept it or reject it. And if you see something that's working, it may be time consuming. If you want it real fast, get a job in the front office. Maybe you can push it. But right now, it's nothing as fans we can do besides watch the process. And if we see flaws in the process, speak on it. But right now, in the last 2 years, I really don't see no flaws in the process except for a couple of things in the coaching situation. I don't think, me as a fan, that the front office has got to be 100% correct in every move that they make in a rebuild. You know, things are going to happen. Chances are going to be taken. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to always work. And me as a fan, I'm fine with it. But I seen the effort. I didn't see nobody just sitting on their hands. We made a 4th seed. We got to the playoff. They tried to do something that they thought would push the envelope. It didn't work. Okay. Fix the problem. That's what I would like for the front office to do, is to fix the problem, move forward, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rob. I think the front office did a pretty good job, because you saw what happened to us in the playoffs during Atlanta. We just couldn't score, so then they brought in scores. So, then they brought in Kemba on low risk, high reward, and that project didn't work out. Then instead of bringing in a vet, they brought in a youngin with Cam Reddish, who has a high ceiling, and that's still yet to be determined on whether that's going to work out or plan out or whatnot. And then we have all these assets as far as draft capital. So I think they did a pretty good job so far in trying different things and what they brought in and what they bring to the table. So to me, they really can't get judged till the 2023 season after our draft picks, after all the veterans are done with their contracts, and then who they bring in then and what we have on the roster.
Yeah, I agree. Team building is not easy. But it's steady. It's steady move. They made a move in the first year. They made a move in the second year. But look, Ron, remember what I said back in November? I don't know if in December, Soulfinger and Ron, I was talking to both of y'all. I said, the plan is not what you're saying. It was the young guys under. They're growing in the garden. And now it's coming to fruition. You're seeing these young guys. So that's why I know that our front office did not put money at the All-Star break into a veteran guard, because the conversation was had with Tim's, as far as I'm concerned, like this here. You want Rose? Okay, I'll give you Rose. Rose is going to cost us $14 million. Tom, we can do everything. Give me Rose. Give me Rose. Now I give you Rose. So the front office takes a flyer on Kimber like they did Rose the year before. Both of them didn't work. Now Tom is coming back at the All-Star break talking about give me a veteran point guard so I can make the playoff run. Front office said no, but what I'm going to give you is what our vision is. Take Cam. Well, I ain't going to play Cam right now. That's on you. But the vision of the front office is the young guys. And I always said that. Always from day one.
That's
so
true.
Now that everybody is seeing it, everybody is getting on board now. But the front office always showed you this vision. So I was never the type to say what direction the front office was doing. I never said that because I seen it. I say it didn't, and then I made the San Antonio analogy versus the Knicks. Everybody thought I was crazy. Pop did the same thing. He let the vets take the bullets, and then he just started shedding weight. Now they only got 2 veteran players. Patty Mills is gone. Durand is gone. Everybody, Aldridge is gone. And now those young players are still on the team. That's what we're doing. They made it to the our record was better than theirs, so I think we're a little step ahead of them. But the Knicks are going to start shedding weight. They're going to start shedding weight, and then you're going to see the team start to take form. Right now, we're here. We're there with the vets. Tibbs is trying to balance it out his way. The front office is not getting involved with the coach. That's a good thing. That's what you're supposed to do with the coach. You don't interfere. You give him what you think is your vision to put there, and he has to manage that the way that he wants to. But don't add to his problem by giving him something that he wants that's going to knock off the plan. That's why we didn't get a point guard at the All-Star break for nobody. He said, no, right. Play Grimes. You asked for Grimes. You asked for McBride right in the draft. I gave him to you. Play him. No, I don't want to play him. So do what you do. I'm going to play Burks. Do what you do. Because when it gets too big, they're gonna have to cut ties. If you're not following orders of being a good soldier, they're gonna cut ties with you.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Rob. And you were saying that, so I'm gonna give you credit for that. That is true. I remember those conversations. Let me just give these people a shout out real quick. Delano Steele Jr., Hewlett Samuel, aka Wadadley, Andy in the building, El Servi, Robert Bruce, A Train, IQJ, Paris Duggar, Movies and Stuff, Deron Wayne, Rome Far Rock, Rayology, what's going on? Robert Bruce, Alan Alford, Kaiser Soze, Chris 0622. What's up, man? D-Raz, Pudge Nice. I think I already got you. I don't know why I had you there, but it's cool. And Andrew K. Once again, it's good to see all y'all in the chat. Appreciate y'all. And anybody who's not muted, could you mute your mic? I think that's where that feedback is coming from. It's just thank you. Yeah, it's one of them days, man. Nothing we could do about it except just try to keep ourselves muted until we speak. It's tough, but we get through it, man. Stuff happens. I think that I don't want to give credit to this guy, man. Damn it. Damn you. Don't want to give you no credit. But I'm going to give you credit because you did say this, and now I see it. I agree with you. Oh, man. Josh, a.k.a. Uncle Fulio, did say something. I have to give him credit for it because it looks like, I would say he's right. When he said it, I knew he was right, but I'm just giving him credit now. I think you're right, too, Rob, that the front office has a plan for the team, and it backfired, I think, a little bit because of Tibbs and what he was trying to do and his stubbornness. I think the front office always knew that they had certain players in mind that they thought was going to play, like, the RJs and all that stuff. We got that. And then they had a plan for these young kids developing and throughout the season starting to be incorporated into the lineup. Those who it was warranted for to get in there and get their shots. But I think the other thing that the front office did, and Josh pointed to this, and this is an NBA thing, this is just a salary cap thing, running a franchise. You have to have a certain amount of cap space used on the team. So it doesn't matter if you want to have all these young guys out there. They don't make big money. So you got to bring in some guys, a la the Kembas, the Evan Fourniers and stuff to meet those salary requirements. Problem with that is they brought in these guys, and then Tibbs sees his shiny veteran toys and he puts them out there and he just goes crazy. He depends on these guys. He keeps using them. And, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what Tibbs is. I listen, I don't look, you can't tell me because I don't believe you. You can't tell me that, the way for these young guys to develop is out there if they're out there playing on the court because you wasn't playing them. Don't tell me this now because I don't believe you. I would have believed Tibbs if when we was in situations where we had no Mitch, we had no Nerlens Noel, and all you had was a 33, 36. I don't even know how old Taj is, but all you had was an older Taj Gibson out there who can't play no 40 plus minutes or whatever it is, and you had Jericho Sims healthy on the bench and you didn't play him not 1 minute. So you telling me that the only way for the kids to get better is for them to be playing? Like if you wanted to play them? No, because you had no option. You had a small power forward at the center position. You had no backup for him, and you didn't even play Jericho to spell Taj. So I'm not going to listen to that. So, I mean, he can sell that to someone else.
But
so my point that –
sorry about that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but towards the end of the season, though, he did play Jericho over Mitchell Robinson. Then when Mitchell Robinson was healthy and Taj was there, he actually played Jericho as the second, center with the second unit. The thing is about Tibbs, and I mentioned this in my show, he's all about trust. You know that. He's all about, playing his vets. And with the rookies, they have to prove themselves. It's like I mentioned, he treats his players like kids. So when you have your vets, your older kid, when he wants to learn how to drive, you take him out, you go around the block. That's the first step. The next step is out in traffic with stoplights, and then the way is next. And with the youngest, he just throws them the keys to warm up the car because they're not ready, and those are the spot minutes that he gives them until he trusts them. So he got a little bit of spot minutes last year with IQ until he proved himself. Then he got more minutes. He did the same thing with Grimes. When he proved himself, he got more minutes and he was in the rotation. Obi was an 8th pick, so he got a little bit of more minutes because of the front office of them wanting him to get playing time. But so that just to let you guys know, that's what's going to happen next year too. Is with whoever we draft, they're going to get spot minutes until they prove themselves, and then IQ, Obi, and Grimes are going to have a lot more of a role next year. So he just, we always said. Thibs, not Thibs. What was the car salesman's guy? The last coach. Well, anyways, the last coach. He always said, "You eat what you kill. You eat what you kill." And Tibbs is actually like that. You got to prove yourself before you get minutes with Tibbs.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to cut you off. And most of the times they seen it in practice. So if you can't kill it in practice, much less how you think you're going to get on the court. You know what I'm saying? Unless you a dynamic player and you killing everybody in practice as a rookie, you're gonna definitely go on the court because the front office is gonna see that, and they're
Can I
gonna be
say,
like, yeah, he needs to play. Go ahead, Rob.
let me what I have to say to that. See, this is where me and Tibbs, I'm more like Ron. I don't trust nothing coming out of Tibbs' mouth because of the statements we seen all through the years, all through this year that them young boys was ready to play. He said at the end that he made a mistake about it. So therefore, that means as though he's seen it in practice and he still didn't do it. Because he made the statement that, I should have played the young players more. So whatever you seen in practice, you still said no to yourself. And then at the end of the year, when every Knick fan in Knick Nation knew that these young boys deserve to play because of what we seen, to me, Tibbs is a bad evaluator of talent. Now, that's why he stays with the vets, because you're proven. But if he had to make the determination of what's a good player and what's not, I don't think he can do it. That's why he sticks with his vets.
Yeah, but when it comes to when it comes to certain players, though, Mitchell Robinson is your starter. He's just the best center out of them all. And with Jericho, every little mistake he made, Tibbs was, calling a timeout, yelling at him, but Jericho was able to take that constructive criticism and, without yelling back, and then he'll learn on the bench from Taj. Now, that's the same thing what I brought when you're driving your, in the car with your kid. You're going to be in the car with your kid. He's going to be making all these mistakes. And you're going to be nervous. You're going to be, hey, stop doing that. Stop doing this. And Tibbs doesn't have the patience to stop, to let him go through all those mistakes while being on the court, while trying to win games. So that's why he'd only get spot minutes here and there. And towards the end of the season, when we had nothing to win, that's when he just like, all right, go ahead and do your thing, and then we'll figure it out.
But in fairness to the other argument, Subliminal, and this is not anything directed towards you. This is like, to me, this is just my feeling about Tibbs himself. Tibbs has just done too many things that contradict some of the things he says or preaches, because you're going to say that, you play. Remember when he came out and he said, and I don't want to make, this is probably the last time I'm going to really get into this whole Tibbs thing. And we got to move on at some point.
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
Remember when he came out and he said that, I'm going to play the best players that give us the best possible chance to win games. And, this is going to be my starting lineup. And I feel like Alec Burks is the best possible solution we got at point guard. Come on, man. Everybody, people don't even know basketball that well, can look at a game and say, you know what? I don't know. Alec Burks don't look that great at the point guard role. And I know he has trust in the guy, but we now see that the best point guard on the team is Quickly on this right now. I mean, healthy. Obviously, it would be Derrick Rose, but whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so this is certain things like he does things that don't make sense to me. And then, like I said, I can't get over that example that I keep giving with the whole Taj Gibson thing. You had one power forward to put at the starting center, and you didn't even back him up with a healthy Jericho just to spell minutes. And then look at all the 20-point leads we've lost and no adjustment made in the fourth quarter. You got guys out there that obviously, whatever, they hit with the buzzsaw, they see the deer in the headlights, they don't know how to act, they don't know what to do, they're turning over the ball, they've lost their focus, they got no floor general, they got no control, they don't have a closer, they don't know. At some point, you got to say, you know what, I'm taking you guys out. You already losing the damn game. You was up 20-plus points, and you losing the game. I'm going to take somebody off my bench and put him in there, and if we lose, we lose. We still lose it. So give me a different look, and maybe not only does that give the team some life that's on the court, but it gives these starters and guys that I believe in on the bench, like, listen, you guys are messing up, man. Look at these guys. They're out here balling, and we need you guys to step up your game and do that. It's the, if you want to call it the Popovich method, because Popovich used to do it all the time, and Popovich and Tibbs are close friends. So I'm just saying, like, certain things, his adjustments and the way he thinks about young players, I don't think it's right. And I think the biggest indicator of that is Obi. Obi should have been playing a lot more this year than what Tibbs is giving him. And Obi has showed, let him play consistently. And this is not something that's magical. Obi could have been doing this all year. You let Obi play, consistent minutes, and he gives you a consistent outcome. We know his limitations. He can get better at certain things, and there's certain things he's just not going to have. He's not the greatest defender. Can he get better? Can he be in work on his footwork and be in better position to do things? Yes. Can he work more on his offensive game? Learn different moves? Can he be a better rebounder? Yeah, but that's stuff he can work on. You got to give this kid confidence. Obi said it himself. My confidence was lacking. I wasn't comfortable, and I kept feeling like every time I was doing something, I was making a mistake. That's from Tibbs. And once you give him the confidence, oh, wow, look at Obi balling, man. And this is why Tibbs has to eat his humble pie. Now, I just want to say, Rob, I don't know if he actually said it. I know Berman said that Tibbs feels this way. I didn't hear Tibbs actually say it, but the point is, it is
that's
what
I
is.
heard it from Berman.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's real. He should feel that way because it's true. He should have played some of these young guys more. And I'm not saying they was ready to start. I think maybe quickly could have started a lot more games rather than having Burks out there, but that's it. Deuce shouldn't be starting like this. That's fool's gold. None of these guys are ready for all that. But I'm just saying they should have been playing more basketball. Now, that being said, because I don't want to get too far off track, but I understand your point, Subliminal. Tibbs does have a way, and I think I said this before. It's very in a box. He knows how to develop certain players, like the Givens, the RJs, the Julius Randles, guys that he knows have talent, and it's everybody can see it. He knows how to work with them to get the best out of them. It's the guys that you don't know about, to Rob's point, that is still developing, that still haven't achieved that yet. He struggles with, and that's everywhere he's been. So those are the type of things that the Knicks organization needs to look at. And going into next year, we lost 2 coaches. They have to figure out a way to bring in 2 coaches that can help him navigate through that stuff. Johnny Bryant's not enough. You need to go out and get yourself another Kenny Payne, someone who can work with the bigs or whatever he wants to do. They got to get somebody. I think really what the Knicks need to do is go out there and get them another offensive coach. If Johnny Bryant is calling, or helping with the offensive plays, fine, but you need more, because the offense for the Knicks was very vanilla last year. So I like the ball movement thing towards the end, but we still need more. Yeah. So that being said, what I wanted to jump in real quick is, because it was mentioned already, but he's another guy that's on the Knicks radar, because if the Knicks can't get Jalen Brunson, if they can't pony up to get Donovan Mitchell, Tyus Jones is another option. I know, Rob, but remember, the flip side of it, Rob, is if you can't get what you want and you don't have to spend a lot of money, Tyus Jones is you say, maybe we'll give the keys to Quickly. Tyus Jones is the backup. So like I'm saying, like you gotta Rob's like, nah.
Stand pat. Get McBride. Just McBride. Look, keep what's on the team. Don't do nothing. Why we got to be forced to do something?
Well, you know what? This is
leave.
Burks definitely should leave. But this is the thing that I want everybody to understand, bro. There is diamonds out there. There's diamonds. When you put guys, and this is what I've learned for many years, but this year is another great example. Look at the guys who, when they have to step up, when your star player is out, look at how these guys play, because they're in a different role and you got to depend on them. Then you start to see stuff like, and Jalen Brunson is a great example, but he's not the example I want to use. Like with Luka Doncic out, Jalen Brunson is a bucket. He gets the job done. He can score, but you don't see that when Luka's out there, because Luka's the man and Jalen plays his role. There's guys like that all throughout the league, point guards that you didn't even know they could shoot like that because they don't take a lot of shots. If you look at Tyus Jones' numbers, he averaged 8.7 points, 2.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and he's not even like, he's not Ja. You got the ball going through Ja. You got Jaren Jackson doing what he does when he wants to do it. But the focal points are Ja, Dillon Brooks, and Desmond Bane. And those guys have the ball in their hands, 70 to 80% of the time. Tyus Jones doesn't even have that type of ball usage, and he comes off the bench. I think what he brings to a situation is kind of interesting because if you put him in a role where he gets more minutes and he's one of your primary ball handlers, he don't have to be the starter. He could be the bench. You might see some stuff that you wasn't expecting out of him. Plus, he plays good defense. Being that he's 6 feet, he's an adequate NBA player. This is the type of guy that I was talking about before. You know, the old guys in the league. Man, he was on our team back in the day, but we got him when he was kind of washed already. You know, guys, the
Jared Jacks.
Like the Jared Jacks of the world. Yeah,
He was
Tyus
on
Jones
Phoenix bench. I seen him on Phoenix bench.
There you go. But Tyus Jones fits that mold. He's younger and probably could do more, but he's that school of that train of thought. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having that type of player on the team. He's not going to be expensive. I'm just saying it's a thought. If you don't want to break up,
but you
anything,
have
he's an
Rose
option.
though.
Yeah, but I honestly think that we're gonna have to move on from Derrick.
Yeah,
Rose.
now if we move on from Rose, okay, I can see. But with long as Rose is there, a backup point guard like that is not necessary unless you're gonna move Rose.
Right.
Then I can understand it. It makes sense.
Right. And I agree with you, Rob. We still got Derrick Rose and we got Quickly. And if Burks is still on this team, no. But I think Burks is going to be gone. So you're going to have to replace Burks. You could say, well, we don't really need to replace Burks. Just Grimes and Cam will get those minutes that they deserve, which is fine. But I don't know what's going to happen with Derrick Rose. And you know, the Knicks have to make a tough decision, I think, because I just think Derrick Rose, look, he's older. He's been through a lot of injuries. I don't think he can hold up for another NBA season. I just think he's if he was healthy, that would be great.
You know what's funny? People want to give Noel's hell, but Rose a pass. And they both did the same thing.
Yeah.
They both did the same thing.
And he cost more.
But they killing Noel. Oh, but then when you say Rose, they be like, it's like that episode in Friday then when my boy was like, man, you stood there and let me get beat up. He said, oh, but that was different. That's how they give Rose the pass. Oh, that was different.
Yeah, the longer you hold on to Rose, the bigger chance of we taking him getting injured and then him having no trade value during the trade deadline.
I agree 100%.
A lot of us like IQ starting. Go ahead and bring IQ in. You know, what's going on with Rokas Jokovitis? He had mentioned he's not joining the Knicks until, you know, they get rid of some of these vets because he's just going to be sitting on the bench anyways. So we took a higher, draft pick on choosing Rokas Jokovitis, and then we picked up Deuce McBride afterwards. So go ahead and let them duke it out and figure out who the backup point guard is, because we still, don't know who this guy is. So let's bring him along and see what he can bring to the table.
Well, I honestly don't think Rokas Jokovitis is ever going to wear a Knick uniform again. I don't think he's coming here. I think the situation is a little chaotic for him. I think he's got advisors around him that say, listen, they got stuff going on with their star player. The coach don't play the young guys. You got too many point guards. I mean, too many guards over there. Why would you want to go to that situation? I think Rokas is like, I don't know. So I don't think we're going to see him. I think he's going to wind up getting traded to some other team, but the rights somewhere else. And I think that you do make a good point. That would be interesting for him to fight it out, because I think Rokas could be a player in this league. I like the way he's scrappy on defense. I think he's better offensively than people give him credit for. He still has some stuff to learn, but I also look at it on his Europe team or whatever. He's not the starter. He's the backup. Because they honor their veterans more over there. Their guy has been he's like a 15-year guy. So that dude is the starter. So I'm just saying, if you give him minutes and an opportunity, he might do some special stuff. But I just don't think we're going to see him. So we'll see. I think the Knicks need to talk to Derrick Rose, work out something with Chicago, so that he could go back home. We're not going to disrespect you. We love you. Great dude. Tibbs loves you, all that stuff. Let's get you back home, get you on that Chicago team, give you a chance to be where you want to be, and go from there. So, because, I just think that sometimes Knicks need to make smart decisions, man. We just can't, no more time for playing around, man. Get this team right. Get high IQ players, get young ballers that can play, that are healthy. None of this hurt play. This paying Nerlens Noel that money, and at least we saw Derrick Rose for a little bit. I don't even know how many I can't count how many times I saw Nerlens Noel on the court. Like, this is crazy. So they got to
25
move
games.
on. Yeah, 25 games out of what? And this was 72 game season, or did we play 82?
82. We played 82.
We did play 82. Yeah, 82 games. Like, come on, man. That ain't cutting it. I'm ready to move on. Let's make smart business decisions, front office. Let's leave the attachments. You know, they are what they are. He's done. Derrick Rose did some really good things for us. We appreciate him coming here. He helped us get to that 4th seed. Thank you. Now it's time for us to move on. We want to build through this youth movement. Fine. Well, you got to build. You got to make some moves. So that's why I'm saying let's get it right. So you know, Tyus Jones is an option. But let me bring up the next one. People love this one. Hey. Yeah, buddy. You know it. You know it. Oh, damn. Stafford like, nope. Not gonna do it. You ain't catching me out here. Stafford probably had to go. But yeah, Russell Westbrook, man. Like, I don't want him on the team, but he's still an option because, you know, hurt people work together. Knicks are in trouble. The Lakers have their own troubles. And sometimes that's a match made in heaven for whatever reason. And, you know, Russell Westbrook's contract will turn into an expiring contract next year. Maybe that's something the Knicks want for other reasons, you know, because what you do is, and I don't even know what the Lakers have, but if you take on Russell Westbrook, you would hope you're getting a pick back from the Lakers. The Lakers, I don't know how many picks they got because they kind of mortgaged their future a little bit. So I don't even know if that makes any sense whatsoever, because that's the only reason you take on expiring contracts, because they come off the books and hopefully you can bring them in with picks. But if we can't get no picks from you, what's the point? Or picks that make sense. So, but what do you guys think about Russell Westbrook coming here as an expiring contract? So we can move some of these guys off the team, the Burkses, the Kimbas, whoever else, and we can cut some of that dead weight to get one piece of dead weight.
Right.
And let me that's not fair. I will say that Russell Westbrook played much better the last 3 weeks or so of the season. He actually showed up. I don't know what happened to him the rest of the year. Whatever. What do you think, Rob? I'll go with you first.
Well, at the end, I was looking at this. It's just funny you brought him up because I just was looking at his stats not too long ago, and he finished the season shooting 44% from the field. You know, and we got a lot of players on the team that didn't scratch that. Didn't scratch that. But me personally, I don't want nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't want
I
nothing
hear
to
you.
do with him. Nothing at all. Look, because I don't know, I don't want to get rid of a player that we have that bad to get him.
Mhm.
Because I think it's other moves that can be made around the league to relieve some of the pressures that we're feeling at certain positions anyway. And Westbrook is just not a guy that I want on the team. You know, his style of play. I was never a Westbrook fan. Never. So I can't see him, and he plays hard, but I don't really think that Westbrook is a team player. When Melo said this man was taking rebounds from me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo. And then the Houston tobacco, hey, that was bad. And then it just made Kevin Durant look so right not to be messing with him. You know what I'm saying? Now, Russell Westbrook is that guy that think it's all about him, but your skills are minimal and you're a bully with it. So
Right.
nobody really don't want to tell you nothing. And then now you got your reputation in the league. And then now it's just showing. Nah, Westbrook, no way. I'll go Jones first.
Well, oh damn, I hear you. Well, you know, and to your point, just for clarity, you're right. Russell Westbrook did finish with 44% from the field. He shot like 29% from three, but I don't care about that. He can't shoot anyway from outside. But 44% from the field, and you know, the season that was such a laugher. I mean, he was a Shaq'd and a fool many times. throughout the year. So many crazy things hitting the sides of the backboard, shooting air balls, hitting the top of the backboard, all this craziness, right? And he
Yeah.
still finished. He averaged 18.5 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 7.1 assists. A lot of people would look at that like some good numbers. So I don't know. It's crazy. Keyshawn, what do you think about about Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, I'm completely good on Westbrook. I do not want him on this team. Not nowhere near the team. I could see him go back to OKC. They got some money they need to spend. Might be his last hurrah, honestly. I don't think he'll be in the league that much longer, in my opinion.
Right. No, I mean, listen, I can't say that you're wrong about that. Every time I think, like, I was so done with Russell Westbrook. All the stuff I seen this year, I'm like, yo, this dude, I don't know. But the other thing about him is I know every time you count him out and you think that there's no possible way I would want to be around this guy, he shows me something different. Like when he went to the Wizards, I was like, what? Why would they want Russell Westbrook? And he was looking bad over there. He was struggling. They looked crazy. It looked like a match made in hell. Then all of a sudden they started balling out. I was like, where is this coming from? How are they getting Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal to work together? And they found a way to make it work for that period of time. It still didn't work in the end because they wound up moving on once again. Because no matter where Russell is, Russell and James Harden, they really somebody. Not only did they have an eye for talent, but they had an eye for dysfunction because they got that. So I don't know, man. What do you think about him, Subliminal?
To me, it's a wash. If Randall drove you crazy with his turnovers, then Russell Westbrook is going to do the same thing and drive you crazy with those costly turnovers at the end of the game. Him being so selfish, I think it'll take away the development of the team, of him being so ball dominant, having the rock in his hand all the time. And I mean, you think Randall was bad with the media? He's going to be just as bad with the media, with fans. It's going to be a circus show all over again next year. And I think if we just keep Randall a little longer, we could get a better deal, like Rob had mentioned, in trading for Randall instead of a Westbrook trade. So
right.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I can't fault you for that opinion, man. I hear you on that. Salute to E. Daniel. Salute to your other half, Subliminal. What up, Cully? I see you. Stafford Don is back in the building. I was like, damn, man. As soon as I mentioned Russell Westbrook, he pieced out on me.
Nah, my little brother my little brother was calling from the military, man. So I had to take that call.
I got you. So what do you think about Russell Westbrook as an option
at
this point?
Look, I didn't hear everything, but whatever Subliminal said, I am with that. I'm not doing it. I'm not trading Randall for Westbrook just for 1 year. I do think we could get a better deal. I think I heard Subliminal said Rob said that, so I do agree with that. So I'm good. I'm good. Let me deal with the headache that I have now than to deal with another major headache. I need about 800 more milligrams of Tylenol for that. I'm good. I'm good.
I hear you on that. And Andy said Jazz mad the Mavs allowed Randall and Worldwide West in the front row. I'm a laugh out loud when we get Brunson. Yeah, I mean, listen, that I think that is going to happen somehow. Whether or not we look like we overpaid for him or not, I think somehow that's going to happen. And I think a sign and trade situation might take place with Mitchell.
Mitch,
Yeah, because Mitch is a Texas boy anyway. I think I could see that happening. We're gonna wind up losing Mitch. I said it a long time ago. I thought we was gonna lose Mitch. I still think we're gonna lose Mitch. And if at least if Mitch could do the decent thing and say, yeah, all right, I'll help you guys out, and you can get me more money. I'll do the
Man,
same.
where's Mitch from? They said Florida, then Louisiana. Now he's from Texas.
Well, I mean,
he's from Louisiana. No, he's from Louisiana.
But I don't know. I think he lives. Doesn't he have a house
Nah,
in
they
Texas?
say Mitch is from Florida.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, Mitch is from Florida because when his pops got missing, that's when it came up that Mitch is originally from Florida, then went to Louisiana.
I got you. Okay,
but
well,
I don't know where Texas came from.
No, because I think Mitch has a place in Texas. They were saying something about him being in Texas a lot. I don't know. I know Julius.
Yeah, he's linked to Texas too. He's linked to Texas too.
Yeah, so
because Dallas need a center, so that's another place that Mitch could go. So you know, you can't rule out Cuban.
And that works. I mean, plus for whatever reason, Cuban likes dealing with the Knicks. Maybe Cuban and Dolan are okay. Maybe they have a nice relationship because we tend to deal with them a lot. Yeah, I mean, so we'll see what happens with that. But then, you got this gentleman we can't rule out because for whatever reason, his name keeps popping up. I don't know why it would still pop up at this moment, but that's Dame Dollars. And I mean dollars for real. That's funny that's his nickname because this dude's contract is bananas. And I don't know if the Knicks want to be able to deal with that type of situation. We're not ready. We're not winning anything right now. Does Dame want to put himself in that situation? But then again, Dame, we know Dame's got his extracurricular stuff. Maybe Dame is like, look, I don't know if the winning situation is going to present itself for me right now. But what I will do is continue to build my brand. I'll continue to make my money. And if I can get other avenues jumping off, by being in New York, maybe I'll do it. The situation is not necessarily going to be that much worse than Portland. Portland is going a totally different direction right now. So maybe the Knicks situation works for him because he's in a situation he can't go to a contender right now. No one can afford to take on that contract and still be that same level of team they got. It's too many. You got to trade like 2 or 3 players to get Dame that make that money. You know what I mean? So, he's in a tough spot.
Well, I live out here in Portland, so I know all about Dame. He's just a loyal dude. Everybody out here loves him. He has just so many endorsements. So, car dealerships and just he has so much going on out here that if they do trade him, it's going to be, they're going to ask him where does he want to go as far as that. But I just don't see him leaving. I see him just being more of a mentor with the team. So, and right. I don't want him anyways. He just doesn't fit the timeline. He's coming off an injury, and we'd be paying too much and giving up too much for him. But like you mentioned, though, he does music. He'd be getting a lot of music done out in New York. So I can see that happening. Like if he wanted to join the Knicks, they probably would do that. But I don't want to do it. I'm good.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I didn't put this guy in the mix. I probably should have, but I think we talk about him all the time. And I think he's a given, when it comes to a player that the Knicks might target. And because he's not a guard, but, Zion is very high on that Knicks list. And then this plays back into the whole New Orleans thing and the connection with Mitch. And
hey, Ron, you're glitching.
Am I?
Your visual is glitching. Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah, you still glitching. I'm dead serious. I don't know what's going on. Is it just me?
It might just be you, brother. Let me.
So how come
Hey, Stafford, that's you because he ain't glitching to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stream now. I look okay. I mean, I could look better.
Not everybody's okay to me, but all right, it's probably just me. All right, I guess I'm seeing things. I guess
it could be happening, brother. Internet connection be funky sometimes. It comes in and out. I don't have the best. I got to work on that too, but
Yeah, I think it's you, Stafford. I think you're the one
Now,
that's glitching.
now you good now. I ain't glitching. I've been good since I came here. Well, you good now, Ron. You're not like yeah, you
Okay,
good now.
cool. All right. Well, yeah, man. I just think that I think that that's another thing that they're really going to look at. But I honestly think, look, that who's the GM in New Orleans again? Y'all know? I forgot his
Is
name. Let me
it David Griffin?
David Griffin. David Griffin is not well received around the league because he's kind of a snake. And I just don't think that he is going to let Zion go without a fight. I don't think he wants to get rid of him. And I also think that New Orleans sees the need for Zion, and CJ is like, yeah, man, we could use this guy. They're not a bad team over there.
Hey, they took Zion off of all of their billboards and a lot of stuff that he was on their pamphlets and around in the arena. The public relations team, they did a number with Zion. They pulled him off a lot of stuff.
Oh well, I mean, maybe that's a good sign, or maybe they already know that. Listen, Zion's people have mentioned to them that listen, he's going to ask for something in the offseason. He's probably not trying to do it now, make it official until the season's over. But maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why they're doing that too. Who knows? But let's not forget, they don't like the way he's been dealing with things.
Exactly.
You know, he kind of pulled the Porzingis method on them with the agent stuff and not trying to be around the team and, you know, not sharing his workout stuff with them. They don't know where he was at. And he wouldn't speak to CJ when they acquired. Like, that's crazy stuff. So, I don't know.
I think they're gonna move on from him and work around Brandon Ingram because he's been showing up too.
Yeah, you know, and this is the other thing. Like, we just gotta, as this is a message to Knicks fans, and I'm starting to hear that little bit of that feedback. So if everybody could just mute their mic, message to Knicks fans, man, we got to be patient. None of these players are perfect. Some of these guys are really good, but even the good ones have bad days, man. We can't and I say that because when you brought up Brandon Ingram, you made me think. Like, Brandon Ingram has some days where he is quiet. And this guy has so much immense talent, the length, the athleticism that he does have, the things he can do. He can do everything out there on the court. Really, he should be just like Kevin Durant. And maybe even better because he's younger and has a little bit more athleticism right now. He just doesn't show it consistently. And that's the type of thing that you got to look at and say, well, you know what? This is how you taking gambles, man. You go out there, you get yourself a star type player who's a franchise type player. You don't know what's going to happen. Everybody has their ups and downs. And that's why I'm not out on Donovan Mitchell. I do see that he don't play defense the best, but I'm not out on him because I know that he's a dude. You know, he may not be the dude, but he's a dude. Like, so you got to respect his game and respect that he is going to do what he can to help you. But what were we saying?
I was going to say to that point, though, but no team ever built around Brandon Ingram before. When he was at the Lakers, they shipped him off.
Right.
Pelicans, you know, they had – was he there with – Zion. So
they
didn't really, take the time to build around him before. So it might change. We might see if they, really focus in around him. He might show up and he might pop.
But they traded him for AD. That was the package. That was for AD. So it was nothing that they didn't want to build. Say that again.
I was going to say in the end, I still think that was a smart thing to do. But continue.
Yeah, because I don't think it was a thing they didn't want to build around him. It's just they saw a better player in AD on the Pelicans, and AD won it out. So why not package him? Why not package him? Go ahead.
I was just saying he never had a team to build around him, you know, and prop him as the number one guy. That's what I'm saying. So that might not be. We don't know if he could be a number one option in the future.
Well, I mean.
So I mean, the Pelicans could invest their time into that.
He's the number one option now. He's the number one option in the Pelicans now.
Yeah, he
See,
is.
see, you
But I'm
see,
saying the
you
team wasn't
don't
geared
think.
towards him. It was geared towards Zion. That's what I'm saying. The team was
No,
built for Zion.
Zion joined him. He was there already. He makes the most
He
money
was
on the
there, but
team.
he was definitely not the focal point of the team.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. But what I'm saying was when Zion came, okay, sometimes you got to just take when you got exceptional talent, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be roles to play, even when you have a star. You know what I'm saying? Even though Zion was the big ticket though, but he was the constant player because he was already there. Zion had
Yeah,
to work. Zion has to work his way to that. Even though he getting all the accolades from college, he still has to work his way to that. But who
definitely.
was there still getting his shots is Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, but if they had to choose when they first got Zion, they definitely would have traded Brandon Ingram.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, listen,
yeah.
But now
yeah,
they're
yeah.
definitely like, wait a minute, there might be something building around this.
It could be to your point that I would say, yeah. It seems like Brandon Ingram never gets the opportunity to be the man. Every time you look, it looks like that's what's going to happen. Something else happens. I think the best move they did was getting CJ McCollum. That's a pretty smart move on their end.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
helped. I mean, he's made other players on the team obsolete, like Devontae Graham. Like, I mean, he's like an afterthought now. Maybe for good reason, because his game is not always as consistent. And when you think about it with Devontae Graham, just throwing this out there, he really surprised everybody because he had that one really good year with Charlotte after coming out of the G League and balling. But after that one really good year, he never really uh, equaled those numbers and stuff. So uh, it's situations where they made some leaps and it hasn't turned out to be what they expected it to be. So CJ McCollum definitely gives them because that team was. It's funny to me how CJ made such a difference because that team to me was really bad, but they're better now. They got some stuff that they can build off of. El Servi said send Randall to OKC. Yeah, they don't want Randall. They've got a different type of movement going on over there, and I don't think they want to deal with that. Although, listen, that doesn't mean as a Knicks fan, or if I was part of that organization, I'd definitely try to send him to OKC if I could. Let's talk.
I saw a
Yeah,
trade with OKC and Atlanta where OKC got John Collins, and I think Atlanta got back Lou Dort. What's the other center name again? Who was over there? He used to play for Utah also too. Derek Favors.
Mm.
And I think a couple first round picks they got.
That money don't match because Collins just signed that contract. That particular deal don't match.
Yeah, well, look, I'm just telling you what I read in the article. You feel me? If there was to do a trade, it's more to it, but I just can't remember to probably make the money match. You feel me? So he will be teaming up with Shea Alexander and Josh Giddey, if anything. Just to throw that out there.
I could see that being, if I was Atlanta, I would do that. As much as I think John Collins is a good player, he has some issues sometimes, staying healthy. And then outside of that, I just think that they're okay with, they've got decent bigs. Their backup is a decent backup. Of course, the two players are kind of like Mitch and Noel. They both play similarly. They're not really good shooters. They can't score that much, but defensively they're pretty solid. And I think Atlanta needs better defense at the guard position. So if you can tell me I get John Collins and I bring in Dort, yeah, if I'm Atlanta, I do that. But
and that was the main thing about the article, the defense that Atlanta needs, like a lockdown defender, and Lou Dort will be that defender that Atlanta will need to take it to the next step.
Right.
So,
that makes
yeah.
sense. That makes sense. Cully said, "What's the view on Randall? Trade him or keep him?" Look, I understand that I understand that the Knicks organization is still very in love with Julius Randle, and there's a lot of fans that still, he's human. He made a mistake, all that stuff. I'm done with Julius Randle. I've been done with Julius Randle for a while.
You know that they wasn't at the game together, right?
Oh no, they were there, but they were sitting separately, right?
Yeah, they wasn't at the game together. Randall made that clear that that they wasn't at the game together. It was like they spoke, but so I don't know what the love-hate relationship is in the front office right now.
It's just the media, bro. The media just take things out of proportion. They just saw them at the game, and make a big spectacle out of it. Look at the Bleacher Report that just came out just now today. The Jazz and the Mavs is mad because William Wesley was sitting courtside. So, look, it's just a circus, man. Anything the media see to get clicks and likes, they're gonna run with it, bro. That's what they're getting paid for.
Who going to Summer League this year?
Yeah, I'm not going.
I'm going.
I'm not. I would but I don't really travel like that to begin with. But yeah, I definitely if I was the type to be out there and traveling, I would go if I could swing it, because that, to me, I think it's an interesting experience, and I like how they got the summer league set up, and it's good to see some of these young players, and especially if we draft some nice talent, if we're lucky, fortunate enough, it'd be good to see it. But yeah, man, definitely. Hey, listen. You guys go out there. Anybody that I rock with, we can get our correspondence on.
Oh yeah.
Rob the Knick at the Summer League.
I'm checking in.
Yeah, that'd be dope, man. But yeah, I hope I answered your question, brother. I'm done with Randall. I'm ready to move on. Could he see? And the funny thing is, I don't want people to turn back around at me later. Say Randall goes into next season a changed man, and he looks more like Randall from 2 years ago. I'll be happy. I'm just saying, at this moment, what he's done for me, I'm ready to move on. Peace out, Randall. Happy trails. But if he changes things around, good. That's what he needed to do. But it shouldn't. I just still don't think there's any excuse for him to go off the rails the way he did for that, this long part of the season. The thumbs down thing was one thing, but I'm not like everybody else. I can forgive him for that. You made a mistake. I don't know why you even told people what you was doing, but you did. Okay, I can move on from that. I can't move on from the not being in the huddles, not doing certain things, and looking funny around your teammates, slapping laptops out of trainers' hands and stuff like that, and then pushing. I don't want to see any of that stuff.
He gives a bully mentality. He gives that mentality off to, like, only certain people on the teams he's approachable to, and from your star player, it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah,
So his vibe is like all twisted to me now. I'm like you. That I feel just like you feel about it, the same exact way. I feel the same exact way.
And the NBA figured him out though. Just get underneath his skin, and it takes his game away.
That is very true, Subliminal. God, see, this is the part of the game that people as fans miss. It's the other stuff. There's so many things that changed from the fourth seed year to this year. Teams, figured out Tibbs' schemes. They figured out how the players on the team work. They know how to get them flustered where we make more turnovers. You've seen that they started they used to double Randall all the time. Then they changed it from doubling him to stop him from scoring, just doubling him to get him flustered so he makes a turnover. Like, things just change. And as you said, they know how to get under his skin, because this year he was a loose cannon, man. Something you gotta figure out a way to deal with and move on. And my whole thing is, I just think, like, I don't want to, it's just true. Like, it's just life. It's like, I always kind of equate it to a relationship, with a significant other. Guys are good. You have a couple arguments here and there. You may, you know what? I'm not dealing with you for a week, 2 weeks. I don't want to see you, right? But you never, when you don't break up. But when you break up, when you're in a relationship, and then okay, things didn't work out, but you come back together, it's never the same. And I think this year, what happened with Randall and the fans and how he acted on the sidelines and certain things he did, you know, people trying to, his teammates trying to come, you know, Fournier trying to, you know, get in his head, control him, and he's pushing Fournier and making Fournier look, you know, like look at him like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Like that, it's too much. It's too much. Sometimes you can't move, you can't get that back, because what's going to happen is Knicks could go into next season. I don't think Randall's going anywhere. I'm saying I think they should move on, but I don't think he's going anywhere. They, you know, next season they're going to have some success. It could be early, most likely, as soon as they get that adversity. One thing that you can never move on from is the fans don't let things go. And whether they're right or not, I don't know. Should they let things, you know, phase out and relax? They should, but fans don't do that. As soon as Randall has a bad game or does anything, the boo bird's going to come out and all that stuff. It's like one thing. He could do so much good and change everything around, but one bad thing he does next year, the fans are going to get on him, and then all that emotion, all that stuff's going to come back. That's why I'm saying you got to move on, because it's too late. Like it's there now, and it's going to come back quick. So
I think that he can be like, if he starts off, you know, if he starts off hot and everything is going and he get him back, I think that the fans will forgive him, because, you know, most of them be in there drunk anyway. So they're going to start rooting for their team anyway at the end of the day. So, you know, and then like he got to put together a stretch. It can't be like 1 or 2 and then you're back to 3 for 20 now. If he put down a nice 10-game stretch where as though he getting 30 and they winning, oh, they'll jump off of him, and then RJ will carry it the next 5-6 games, and then the team start chipping in that way. I think that's the only way. But if he come back and because they gonna watch him. If he start off cold, he in trouble.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be that. It's going to take more than that. He's not only is he going to have to score and play basketball the way we used to seeing him play basketball, that most improved player season. He's going to have to talk. He's going to have to have his little press conferences. He's going to have to say the right things. And if he takes more control of the situation because he's playing well, like, look, you know, last year I was tripping. I had a lot going on in my mind. There was personal stuff happening. I didn't handle it the right way. I did some things to the fans that I regret. And, you know, this year's a difference. You know, saying the right things, then you get everybody on your side, because then everybody, oh, he human, you know, he atoning for everything. You know how it is. But Randall got to be all in. It's not just his basketball. He got to say the right thing too. Yeah. And I don't know, because Randall looked like he don't really want to talk sometimes. He don't want to say nothing to nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can't just be talking though. He can't just be saying things. He has to back it up too, because he was
that's what I'm saying. It's not. See, it's both. It's both. He
was at that press conference talking
about
he's
talk
made,
it and back it up.
Yeah, he was talking about he's made for New York. Well, let's see it then, Randall, because right now you ain't proved it. You know, and the fans will, because it is an emotional roller coaster. There's games where the same game they booed him, it was the same game they were saying MVP and cheering for him. So there are going to be those fans that will, you know, welcome him back with open hands, with open arms. So
you're right. And Troy Flett said the Knicks are the worst team in New York. Yes, you are right. They are one of the worst teams in New York, because there's another team in Brooklyn that is going to be pretty trash. You're going to see it soon. A couple more games, you're going to see where they at. Don't worry.
Oh, that's going to be sick.
There's another team in Queens too. I don't want to call their name, but
calm down, B. We first, baby. MLB, you know what I mean, man. Man, whatever. It's too early. It's too early. I see you, Staff, but it's okay. Y'all be good one day, not today. Yeah, there you go, JJ. Let them know. Let's yo, if y'all Met fans out there, spam the chat, man. Let's stop. Damn Yankees is rotten, B.
Hey.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. Look, as I told people before, you know, when it comes to being a fan, I think it's okay to love your team. You don't hate the fact that other people like their teams. Like growing up, I was always a Met fan, but I didn't hate the Yankees. What made me not like the Yankees was the fans, because the fans were brutal. So, and the same thing goes for the Knicks and the Nets. I don't hate the Nets organization. As a matter of fact, when they had Kenny Atkinson and they had Dinwiddie and them young guys over there, I was like, good for them, man. I like what they're doing over there. They look good. It's nice to see them, putting together a nice team and winning. I don't like the Nets now because they got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and I don't like either one of those dudes. So that's why I don't like the Nets. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I don't like the Nets or Boston, but I'm hoping Boston pulls off that dub in the series though.
There you go. See, there you go. Salute to Ken BX. What's going on? Brooklyn Buddha, I see you. Yeah, man. Like, look at this guy, freaking Rayology. And I'm like, I like this guy, but look at 28 and counting. For those who don't care about baseball, he's basically talking about the Yankees' 28 championships and their history, whatever. Back when baseball didn't matter. Way back then.
Thank you, Rayology. Thank you. 28 and counting. Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, what I will say is, yeah. I'm not messing with you, Rayology. Good for you, bro. But you know what? Before I get out of here, because I gotta try to condense these shows now, because then I'm gonna get burned out. They ain't no Knick basketball, so I shouldn't be going 5 hours.
Yeah, right. True.
But I'm gonna say, like, what do you guys think? Because today, we are Knick family here, but it's basketball. We like basketball. So today we got I'm gonna go through it real quick. So we got Philadelphia and the Raptors, the Mavericks and Utah, Celtics and the Nets, and then the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. So the Sixers and the Raptors. Who you guys think is gonna win today's game?
I'm gonna give the Raptors one. I'm gonna give them a game.
All right.
I'm bringing out the broom.
Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. What do you think, Subliminal? Same thing?
Yeah, I'm with Stafford down. Yeah, bringing out the broom to sweep them.
I said this before, so I just want. Okay, Paris Duggar, I appreciate you, brother. Let them know, man. I think that if there was, I know there might be other ones, but if there was going to be an upset, I think Toronto would be the team that could do it. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, because I think Philadelphia has enough to figure this out. But if y'all hear that Embiid's hurt, that he's got a thumb injury and he's going to play through it. Yeah. That thumb injury is important because of the opposing team, which is a good defensive team in Toronto. They're coached by Nick Nurse, who's a smart coach. They said, look, let's keep Embiid on the perimeter as much as possible. Try not to let him get low in the box. If you do that, and he got a thumb, and it's on his right hand, by the way, his shooting hand. If he can't knock down shots, that's going to be a problem for them Philadelphia 76ers. I'm just saying, something to keep an eye on. Just let's see how Toronto attacks them, knowing this information. But that's all I got to say about that. But I think Toronto will win today. I think they'll get this one.
Now I would do the opposite though, and have them work the low block. You know what I'm saying, and kick it down there. Then when the double teams join, just kick it back out. You know what I mean, just use them kind of as a decoy.
Yeah, you could, because the other thing with Philadelphia is the fact that, like, James Harden is a mess, man. I don't know what happened to the lights out James, cold-blooded James, that used to, do his little dance and trash talk and
30
take
pounds.
over games. Yeah, man, he ain't the same. He is not the same. And he pissed me off the other day because I bet on him and he scored 14 points and I needed 15. I think he scored 13. I was like, I can't mess with this guy. He's done. You dead to me, Harden. Anyway, so then you got
before you guys dip aside, I just want to thank you, Ron, for letting me join on.
Oh, wait, hold on, Subliminal. I still want to get your opinion on these other 3 games real quick. Just real quick. What's your
No, it's all good. I just want to, just say thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I appreciate that, brother. Always a pleasure to have you, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. What do you think about Dallas and Utah?
Is Luka gone for the whole series, or is it just
He's not gone. They said there's a chance that he could play in game 4. I think this is game 3, right?
No, 4.
This is game 4?
This is 4? There's
Yeah.
a chance he could
Yeah.
play today, but they're not sure. So if he plays, how do you feel? And if he doesn't play, how do you feel?
I just feel like the team, is clicking on all cylinders, and they're at an ultimate high right now with their confidence by taking those 2 dubs. So I mean, I can see them pulling out the W in the whole series. So I'm going with Dallas on this one.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. What do you think, Staffer?
I'm going with Utah. I'm thinking
Okay.
they're gonna tie up the series today.
Okay.
Yeah, Utah as well.
Yeah. Okay. I think Utah is going to get this one. But I wouldn't if Luka plays. That's the X factor. Like he could give them a little, but I just don't. Part of me kind of feels like if Luka comes back, they might not play as well as they've been playing because I think they've learned how to play, real together without him. And I just don't know if he's going to be 100%, and he might kind of hinder, the way they've been
Chemistry,
playing.
yeah.
The chemistry right now, even though it's not fair, but sometimes that happens in sports. Chemistry is one of them things. Like it is what it is.
But you can flip
They
the coin.
bring them back until they lose.
You can flip the coin too, though, and it just throws off their game plan on what they've been used to. And then you add Luka in the mix, and then it just gives them a different element that they
True.
weren't accustomed to playing the last few games.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
So then you got the Boston Celtics versus the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know, Stafford, what do you think?
Brooklyn taking this one today. Yeah, I think they're gonna be home. They're going. I think they let a 20-point lead slip away in game 2, I believe. Yeah, game 2. So I think today they're gonna come home and they're gonna pull it out. So I think it's gonna be a 2-1 series by the end of the night.
All right. What do you think, Rob?
I got Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brooklyn. They home. I got Durant played the piss poor game and Kyrie glass game, and I don't think they're going for that today.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Rob. He took my take. I was gonna say they had a poor game. They ain't gonna do the same thing back.
Right?
Yeah,
I can't see that again.
I think you're right too. I think Brooklyn's gonna find a way to win today. I just think the thing with Brooklyn is they got 2 of the best players on the court, 2 of the best players, because I'm not gonna say I'm not discounting Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown are good players in their own right. I just think that team itself, they don't have enough. They don't play good defense. It's okay if Kyrie and Durant goes out there and gets theirs, but when they're not stopping what's going on the other side, like how you gonna win? It's tough. We'll see, but I think Brooklyn might be able to pull today's game out. And I think when I really think about it, even though I think Toronto could win this game, the sweep might be in order because I think Joel Embiid might do whatever he needs to do to get this game because he needs to heal up. Because if he is going to play hurt, he needs as much rest as he can get. And why not try to get them out of here so he can get some extra days to rest? So maybe they might sweep him. We'll see. And then lastly, we've got the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. What do you think, Rob?
I'm going with Minnesota. I just think that Minnesota, after what they did, they know that they can play with them. They just the coach had a brain fart. A 21-0 run, and you don't even know timeout. What was you watching or was you coaching?
I think he just got he listen, the deer in headlights, bro.
Yeah, he got caught up in the moment because he did. Well, yeah, but I think he'll learn from that, and then they're tied up too.
What do you think, Subliminal?
Yeah, I'm with Rob. I'm rocking with Rob. I think the Wolves will pull this dub out and win the whole series. I had him winning in the beginning of
Me
the
too.
playoffs, so I'm gonna stick with it.
Me too.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they like when Memphis comes to play. They just Memphis is not. Memphis has been a little lost, and that's part of the thing. They're a young team too, and their star is a young star. Like you get a little caught up. It's the playoffs. You think you're just going to go out there and do what you've been doing all season, and the playoffs is a different animal. But I think Memphis is starting to kind of get it together. We'll see. Could be. If Minnesota does it, I'll be impressive. But we'll see. Stafford, what do you think?
Look, I'm going with Memphis. I don't know what Robin Suleiman talking about series winning, Timberwolves winning series. But anyway, I'm going with Memphis. I'm going with Memphis today, and I think just because the Timberwolves lost that, I mean, I ain't saying they lost their confidence, but they just gave Memphis even more confidence that they could come back from a 20-point lead and still win on the road.
That's a good point. That's a huge point because I think the way Minnesota had came out, they were slapping Memphis in the face, and they were like,
"Look here, man." So listen, I am going with Memphis, and I think, as you said, they're getting it together. So I look to Memphis go ahead and win this series and win today.
Yeah, I just think we've only seen Memphis play one good game of basketball. And I've seen Memphis a few times throughout this season. And what I saw out there in that court with them young guys, the way they were running and playing that in the passing lanes defense, getting their heads moving and stealing, like that's tough. I don't know. Like they look the best at it. The only other team that I've seen do that better this year was Phoenix. Phoenix got their own issues, but whatever. They were able to, survive. But like I said, I don't think New Orleans is that good at the moment. So yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. And Subliminal, I don't want to cut you off. If you were saying anything that I didn't allow you to finish. Okay. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate being back. It was nice to have a week off, but I'm back into the swing of things again. So, guys, if you haven't already, if you're new and you're watching, definitely like the stream, comment, subscribe. If there's anything you guys like us to talk about, put it in the comments. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing the next Still Knicks Fan show this Monday. We're gonna do our I don't know what we want to call it right now. It's not really a weekly recap because there ain't no Knicks basketball. So, but we're gonna change and look forward to us kind of chopping it up this Monday about what's going on with the Knicks, and then we're going to probably get into our interview stuff where we start bringing people on to talk about Knicks and things in the off season that might be happening. We do that more when there's no basketball, and then definitely, stay tuned for the Nothing But Knicks NBA report. I think we're going to do it this Thursday coming up. And we'll talk about what's going on with the NBA playoffs. We didn't have a chance to touch on it this week, but we'll definitely get back into it next week. Thank you guys for tuning in and being in the chat. Once again, thanks to Rob. Thanks to Subliminal. Thanks to Stafford Don. Thanks to my man Soul Finger for chopping up with me. And thank you to Jay Boogie for jumping on for a little bit, while he was doing his thing. Appreciate all you guys. Anything y'all got to say, Staff, or anything going on?
Peace and love and guidance to everybody out there. Enough love and respect, Ron. Rob the Nick, Subliminal 209. Peace and blessings.
Appreciate you. Subliminal. Where can they catch you? When is your show on, and what time can it come on? Does it come on that people can catch you in Cully?
So we on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Knicks after party. We on the Blorange Tears family. But this Thursday, your boy will not be on the show because I will be in Cancun enjoying a vacation.
Hey, okay. I listen.
That's what's up.
Take us with you.
All right now.
let's get Subliminal live from Cancun. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm gonna be having mimosas in the morning, and so
Yeah,
I
man, that's
don't want to
dope,
be
man.
on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, enjoy that, brother. Enjoy that.
Yeah, but
So definitely check out Subliminal and Cully, Knicks after party. Like you said, this Thursday he won't be on, but you know, will Cully still do it this Thursday?
I don't think so. I think
Okay, so we'll
taking a
catch you
break.
on the next one. So it comes on what 11:30?
11
Listen,
p.m.
if the star is not there, the show can't go on. So you know.
Here you go. Here
That's
you
what
go.
they say. That's what they say.
Shout out to Cully.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So definitely check them out on the Blorange Tears Network. Rob, any final words?
Hey, peace to the panel, peace to the chat. I'm getting ready to watch this Fury fight. It's getting ready to come on in about at 2:00.
Okay, that's what's
Yeah,
up. Right. I'm about to check that out too. Then.
Yeah, daytime fight.
I
They
may
fighting
see
in
it.
London.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That's about it.
All right, y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, though.
Y'all too.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your day.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
peace
too,
and
brother.
love, peace and blessings.
Always a pleasure. Well, thanks once again, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been another great show. I'm happy to be back. You know, and you know, we got a lot to look forward to in the off season. I think we're gonna be okay, man. I think the Knicks will figure out a way to make us happy. I hope. But let's not give up on them. You know, things are gonna get better. All right. So let's get out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you all for tuning in as always. And I'm happy to be back. Yeah. Later, y'all.